yo, 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 yo. Yo, what's up, everybody?
What's up,
this
dude?
is Marc's March Madness, and we are here this evening with Fletcher Denning. That's with two N's.
Two.
Three.
Well, technically three.
Maybe, three. It's three, but it's whatever. So, yeah,
I'll stab
there's
you.
that. No, you won't.
I will.
No,
We'll get
you won't. You won't. You ain't gonna do nothing. You say a lot. You're like that dude.
Yeah.
You're like that You're like that Facebook dude that says he's gonna do a bunch of stuff, but in
Dude,
person,
Black Diamond is trash.
then he stands there in person and acts like a weirdo. Like, why are you standing here, dude? Like, you don't even like us, dude. Super awkward, brother. Hello, Mom. It's not your birthday, so tonight's not about you. So keep quiet.
Happy
It's a birthday month.
No, man. It's
Happy birthday.
enough out of Mary Elizabeth. That's enough out of you, lady. So I went to Zero's World Headquarters yesterday. It was pretty rad.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That probably was cool.
Yeah, it's super rad. It was a very good time. And I'm gonna take this. Shut up. Shut up for a second. This is about me right now, and it's not about you. All right. All right, Tim. Is that okay? Can I have a minute?
I was just wondering if you had a shop.
Can I host? Can I host the Can the host, or would you like to do it?
It's gonna be you and me go in the corner.
No. But can I host for a second? Just let me. Can I
Yes,
host for
you
a
can
second?
host. I
All right.
apologize.
So I went to Zero World Headquarters, Tim, and it was a really good time. I had a lot of fun. They were very kind to me, and I'm going to take this time right now to announce and let everybody know that's watching, or people that may be watching this, if you would like to. There's many places you can find me. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on what's that, TikTok? Is that what we do?
TikTok.
We do the TikToks, the Instagrams. Or you can email me at asksqueegee@gmail.com. You can do that. But if you want to buy anything that is Zero products related, Zero products from Zero, you can reach out to me and I'll be your sales rep. I'll be that guy for you. I'll be that dude for you.
Damn.
I am now a Zero products salesman.
Nice.
I'm a paid Zero shill. Well, if you buy something from me, I'll be paid.
You can't be
Yeah.
Chris just called you a
I'm not
zero.
shilling unless you pay.
I'm a Zero. So if you want to buy Zero brushes or Zero tube or Zero poles or Zero doodads, if you see it,
Anything Zero related.
anything on the Zero Products website, I can be your sales representative. Me, T-Squeege.
Nice.
Squeege, man.
T-Squeege. I mean, it's not really an honor or anything like that, you know what I mean? But, now if I was a WCR sales rep, which we both all know, anyone watching this, that's not possible because I have a potty mouth, and Jersey counts how many curse words I say. So, with that being said, I can only do Zero stuff, unfortunately.
Jersey's got his own swear jar with your name on it.
Yeah.
He's filled it up several
It's full
times
of
in
money.
a podcast.
I think that's how he roofed his mountain retreat, to be quite honest with you, is with my swear jar. Unfortunately. Yeah, so if you guys need anything Zero related, just let me know. But dude, we're here for Marc's March Madness. As everyone knows, the month of March is all about Marc Tanner and the men and women that do high-rise window cleaning, which is really high in the air work in our industry. And Fletcher used to do that. He doesn't do that anymore. Now he's a ground guy, like the rest of us. Haha! How the tables have turned. In a few short months. Now Fletcher, who referred to us last year as ground guys, is now a ground guy. Irony.
I mean, I do it all.
Sure. But now
I just
you're a
do lot of
certified ground
water-fed
guy.
pole work now too,
What's that?
but still repellent.
Do you? I know. I'm just messing with you, dude.
Hey, he's doing a lot of water-fed pole work, TJ.
Yeah.
Oh.
Email
Oh.
Squeegee.
Hey, I've been getting that zero resin you were talking about. Y'all been running good deals. I got a lot of it.
It is good.
What
deal.
is this
I
little?
did.
Hey, Damien, what did you do? Damien Gast. Why do you have this gold badge next to your name here? Are you a channel member,
Pippin.
sir? Are you now part of? Now you can see the secret show that nobody knows about because it's a secret.
Oh,
Are you the
shit.
first dude? Probably not. But if you guys don't know, it's not really a secret, but it is a secret. Me and Tim are doing another show because everyone knows I've been talking for like 2 or 3 years now about doing. I want to do another podcast. When I, do this show, I have to be. We have to talk. There's some things we can't talk about. But on the Tim's and TJ's secret show, TJ and Tim's secret show, we can pretty much just say whatever we want to say, and it's cool, and I like it.
Is there a topic? Is it topical or?
Yeah, it's topical. It's just like the last time we kind of, just talked about window cleaning and some things that have been bothering us about. But for the most part, Jacob, thank you. For the most part, we're gonna just it's just gonna be like whatever's going on at the time. You know what I mean? Like
Shoot the shit. Yeah.
shoot the shit show. We're gonna talk about whatever. I mean, sure, the business is gonna come
TJ and
up.
Tim shoot the Shimjo. Sure.
Yes.
So what?
You have to pay at least $1.99 a month to see it though, because what I'm trying to do is build my YouTube platform. So any services that YouTube provides, I'm going to use. So YouTube will make me a priority in their algorithm. So I signed up for channel memberships. You don't have to if you don't want to. I'm not pushing it, but if you want to listen to that show, it's going to be $1.99. You don't have.
Is it already available?
It's already available. There's already one episode.
I was about to say, can you tell us how many episodes that you just did?
We only have one.
And how do we search?
It was a secret for one.
It's already on the. It's already there. Like if you go to my channel, you push the thing, and then you do the thing, and then you'll be able to see the,
You
the
basically
stuff.
purchase a subscription to the
Yes.
channel, then it will be available to be
Yes,
viewed.
I'm just trying to grow my channel. That's all I'm trying to do. If you're a Patreon member and you're like, dude, I don't want to pay for that, cancel your Patreon membership and sign up for $1.99. I don't care. I don't care anymore. I don't care.
I don't give up.
You're not gonna get the Patreon only like stuff that I'm gonna be doing this summer, but that's fine. You know what I mean? Just like pick or choose. And again, it's only $1.99. They make you do 3 tiers. It's $2. I'm not pushing that shit.
99¢.
It's up on channel.
$1.99.
Just says members only. Yeah, it's just a members only thing. It's $2. You want to hear 2 podcasts a month of me and Tim talking about fucking reptilians and lizards and cussing and picking our nose and
basically it's
Bon
basically us
Jovi.
driving to Nashville talking.
Yeah, that's essentially what it is. So Fletcher, I want to know: Are you still hobbled, man? Because when I saw, he was hobbled, dude. He was hobbled.
Yeah, I was hobbling.
Yeah, he was-
Dude.
Y'all don't know.
It looks like he's getting ready to go take fucking glamour shots.
Hold
I
on.
left my cane in the truck when y'all visited. I didn't want y'all to see me like that.
Right.
But yeah, I was having to use a cane for a while, but no, I can
Are you
run
good now?
upstairs now.
Okay,
I
good,
can-
man. So
I can climb on buildings. I can rappel.
good. I was really worried about
Yeah.
you.
Me too.
I was like, dude, this is like to just see the shape that you were in getting around. I was like, this guy is jacked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't.
So,
a fun
so
time.
Fletcher, tell us what exactly happened that you broke your femur.
Man, it's a long story.
Well,
but
he
it
got him and his brother were. This is on the last podcast. I thought you guys were goofing off.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was the 4th of July. I told you about it though at the event.
Oh,
we were sitting
that's
outside
right.
having
That's
our
right.
heart-to-heart talk.
That's
It was
right.
a great talk too.
Yeah, yes, I enjoyed it.
I did
I'm sorry.
too.
I'm sorry I couldn't follow through with the high rise design for high rise month. But talk to
It's
Chris
coming.
Lamborghini.
It's
He's
coming.
he's not a very nice dude. But anyways, please continue.
Good things come to those who wait. But no, man, it was just the 4th of July. And we had been drinking a bunch of shine out at my house. And my brother had the bright idea that he wanted to try and drive and leave. And it was like midnight. And I told him no, and then I took his keys from him because he was being belligerent. I thought he just got over it, but he went and stewed for a while and drank some more. Next thing I know, I got speared from behind off like an embankment, and just the impact and the fall it broke on impact, man. It was a clean break too. He felt terrible, but after that, he actually, has been doing really well. So it was a good thing. It was a good thing.
So
Rough experience, though.
So I know when I saw you when we met at the Huge, you weren't obviously in shape to clean windows, and then I know you were doing some safety training. So what are you doing now? Are you still doing that? Are you doing the buildings?
Dude, I'm telling you, like, me breaking my femur, my brother doing that to me was one of the biggest blessings.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got me out of that grind of just trying to do as many drops a day as you can.
Yeah.
You get hurt, you don't have health insurance, and it's just like you're just grinding and grinding. And I had stopped putting out content for like over a month, not even recording anything like that, just grinding. And when I got hurt, man, it wasn't on the job, so I didn't have health insurance. Obviously, I didn't have an income. My content supplemented me on that. And because I had never monetized it, so I did that. And so once I realized that was an option, I started pushing content hard, like re-putting it all up, just to get monetized. And when I was doing that, Michael Draper's son commented on one and was just calling me out about some obvious violations I was doing, And so I messaged Michael and was like, hey, man, is this your son? And he was like, yeah, my bad. I told him not to do that stuff in public like that. I was like, no, that's totally cool. I was like, but I didn't think I was doing anything wrong here. And he explained it to me, like what I was doing. And I was like, man, I really appreciate that. And we just got to talking. And it was like a week later, he hit me up knowing the condition I was in. And he was like, how about I fly you out to one of my events, show you why we do what we do, get you all the right gear. He said, so you can be a good example. He said, but you can also be safe, man. He said, you're a single dad. He said, and that, matters. He said, I can tell how it matters to you. And so, man, he flew me out there, and dude, we just hit it off.
Mike's a good guy.
He's been one of the biggest blessings to come into my life, man.
Yeah.
He's the one who got me this position at S&K. It's like he made the call for that and made it happen. It's just, I'm very blessed for the way things have went.
Isn't it weird how things like that, the shit like just works out that way? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Well, yeah, most things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
So did he get you off the cylinder, or are you still riding the cylinder?
No, man. He gave me every, when I say he kitted me out, dude, I mean, he gave me every top descender on the market.
Yeah.
He even gave me I ride a clutch. When I ride a clutch, and you know what that is. That's what he used. And so I was using all of them, and that's like his baby. And we were sitting there one day, I was like, yeah, I want one of those. And he was like, you want one of these? And I was like, yeah. And he just unclips it off his harness and was like, here you go, man. And gave that to me too. It's just like, the next time I saw him, he had messaged me before, like text me the night before. And he was just like, look what I had to buy because I gave mine away.
Dude, I mean, that's what's, it's super cool about this industry as a whole, but even more cool about the high-rise side of this industry is you guys are thick as thieves. You know what I mean? Because you guys really have an appreciation for each other. You have to. You know what I mean?
Man, Michael, that's the thing. It's like he's got a bad rap for everyone saying, like, and it's so funny. He even said to me, he's like, everyone wants to call me a safety Nazi. And I laughed out loud because, they do. But it's like, when you really get to understand why he does what he does, and what he teaches at these classes, and the confidence, because I've been to a handful of them now. I've got to come along and help teach, which is the biggest blessing. I love it. I absolutely love it. We just got back from Petzl, had the time of my life teaching. But to take these kids, not just kids, but as soon as they come in, they've never been on a rope, and you can see some of them are sweating, white, nervous in the face. And after spending 2 days with us, they're climbing up 3 or 4 stories, going into mainline failures where they have to transfer onto a single line self-rescue down. Even some of the advanced guys are learning tandem rescues, and it's just the amount of knowledge he's giving them and sense of security. It's things like that I never had, and those were some of the things he's taught me, even like with experiences I've been, the situations I've been in, some of the technical buildings, just some of the ways he taught me to set up and do things different took away the anxiety or fear I had of some other things that used to get me on edge a little. You know what I mean?
Right.
What's always bothered me about the safety stuff is like dudes that like kind of shit on people trying to be safe. It's like I don't understand that weird flex.
Me neither.
You know what I mean? Like I know Marc is really like adamant about seeing people like stack ladders. Marc will like say something like
fucking stupid.
yeah, you know what I mean?
Fucking
He's
stupid.
like, well, if you're a pussy, bro, you know what I mean?
This stuff still happens. I mean, I was watching the news last week with the New York City window cleaners. Didn't have safety lines hooked up.
Yeah,
right.
I still think about BMUs. A lot of those BMUs, some of them don't have them. Like the one I was on Pinnacle, same situation, no safety lines. But what I don't understand, and this goes back to Michael, he's such a busy man. He's such a busy man. But that's who I want to get a hold of to actually find out what happened there, because I've watched the videos and I've looked through the comments, and you can't really figure out what happened. Like, why weren't they able to bring the BMU up? You know what I mean? What happened? We all see the video of it smashing the glass, but I want to know what led up to that. I'm glad they're okay, absolutely. But
what was that? What was the causation? The causation of that? Yeah.
But, yeah.
I'm really gonna start pushing these right here, dude. Like, I'm gonna start pushing guys to get these.
Yeah, the liners.
The liners, the insulation, the zero insulators, and I may or may not, Chris, I may or may not be talking out of school here. This may have been a thing I was not supposed to mention, but I'm just going to say it because I don't know if it was or it wasn't. Chris probably won't even care. I mean, not Chris, the guy that owns Zero. That's not Chris, I mean. These are sold at cost. There's no profit being made on these. This is just a safety item that they've brought. Zero Products has brought to the market that is sold at cost. There is no profit margin here for them to buy a Lamborghini or a Tesla or space shoes. They are sold at cost and they are affordable. So they have these for every part of a Zero pole. Wherever it breaks, like if you have a Zero Micro and you want to use only the top 3 sections, you can add an insulator to the bottom of that bottom 3rd section.
So I have a question for you. Does that line the bottom section, or is that physically another section to make the pole longer?
It's physically another section to make the pole longer.
Okay.
So you're adding a little bit.
If I add it to the bottom of my Destroyer and it's 40 foot, that'll make it like 46, 48 feet.
Yeah, I would say 46.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, but it's, there's nothing wrong with being safe, man. What's wrong with being safe? I know everyone's a super duper tough guy and they eat electricity and bounce off of concrete for fucking breakfast. But what's wrong with going home with both your legs working? You know what I mean? What's the matter with that?
Taking those, getting educated on y'all's water fed pole systems. I've had to do a lot of that. I've had to rebuild a couple systems already and all that stuff. I'm near the knowledge y'all have. Not saying that, but learning the actual dangers of what y'all use. The amount of deaths y'all.
You mean us ground guys? Oh yeah,
those ground guys. Dude. It's like, what is it, like triple almost, at least double.
Yes.
The amount of deaths per year compared.
I think Chris was really inspired.
It's perceived safety.
Yeah.
I think when you're on the ground, you take risks and don't think of stuff.
Chris, this is really inspired by an actual incident that happened. I know through personal conversation that Chris was really hesitant to do anything that had to do with insulating because he was like, man, it's a really slippery slope and I don't want to guarantee or sell a false set of goods. So he's like, I wanted to make double sure whatever we did was the right thing before I did it.
Well, it's also super expensive to get UL Laboratories to test that.
Yes. So
here's a product, see if it conducts.
Yeah.
It's a
there's
shit ton of
things
money
that go
in a
into
small
it.
market.
So an actual catastrophic injury is what inspired Chris to do this. So that makes, and selling them at cost is even, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not making no money off this. I just, want to sell it to guys that want to be safe. That's it. You know what I mean? I don't need to make money off this. So, man, not Chris. The people, like, whoever owns Zero, that's not Chris. It's not him. It's just like another person. I keep screwing that up. You know what I mean? But, it's not him.
It's another person.
it's not him.
I thought they owned it too. Brothers don't own Zero?
No, yes, no.
Oh, I thought they did.
They do. Yes. They do, then they don't. They might. Yeah. There's a possibility. There's a chance, but I'm not
Mike
sure.
Cadillac.
It's unclear. Yeah, it's Jed Ferrari who owns it. No relation to the Lamborghinis.
Right.
It's a different person altogether.
I thought their name was Chris Sander Ferrari.
Listen, I just like the fact that they ran around there and there's an actual guy on premise. His name is Mario, and I got to listen to Chris and Alex call the dude Mario all day. It was fucking excellent, dude. It was excellent.
Mario.
And then Sean, the other guy that was, the Sparta window cleaner, he's there, and I was like, say Mario, and he said Mario. I was like, so why do you guys say Mario and he says Mario, and you guys grew up together?
Right.
Like, where does the Mario come from? Jeez. Chris showed up like Tony Stark at the hotel to pick me up, to take me out for dinner. We went out too. And you guys are probably like, man, you guys probably went to, like, had Roast Chris and had steak and lobster. No, we had like a Reuben and a chicken sandwich. Like, it was, dude, they're the most down-to-earth, coolest people you'll ever want to meet. Anyone that gives those dudes shit are just jealous.
Right.
That they are so much like us, the Squeegee Life guys. That is why we get along the way, because they're just like and that's the way they did it. We're gonna be us no matter what, and that's what they are. They're themselves at all times. There's no faking the funk. You know what I mean? So I think that's why we get along famously now, is because we just realize that we're kind of the same dudes. We are the same dudes.
You're like, did we just become best friends?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
A lot of us window cleaners.
Want to go do karate in the garage?
Yeah. Go ahead, Fletcher. What were you saying, bud?
I said a lot of us window cleaners are pretty similar, man. It's like I go back to a game and you and I sitting outside.
Kindred spirits.
Us talking and you just telling me, like, the amount of times I've heard a story so similar to yours, man. I could just, I think about that night, man. That was a really good night for me to meet all you guys.
Yeah. And, well, I'm thinking
get out.
It's looking like there's a strong possibility that might be a pilgrimage for our podcast every year. It's looking more and more like it. Yeah, Marc's like, well, if you go, I go, and I'm like, well, if you go, I'll go, and then Tim's like, well, if you guys are, I'm going.
Make a fucking decision.
Yeah.
This year I'll be healthy, and I'm actually going to get tickets and all that good stuff.
Awesome.
So I'll be there.
I hope to be working possibly the Zero booth, or maybe even the Maker booth. Probably not, because Maker don't like me no more. We're not friends. They don't like me. They don't like me.
I don't want to work a booth. I just want to come and actually enjoy the event.
I think what I'm saying is if I do either one of those things, I will 100% be there for either Maker or Zero, whichever. But as it stands right now, I'm 50-50 on going. But if one of them were to ask me to work at one of their booths, I would definitely be there for that. Because they're so supportive of us.
They need to ask you.
Yeah, Maker Products and Zero, they've been super supportive of us from like the very beginning. That group of guys been from almost the very beginning.
I don't think I know those guys from Maker, man.
Richie Blue, Richie's a really good friend of ours. You know what I mean? Okay.
I've never used their products personally.
He's a great dude. Yeah, that would kind of, do you use, what size mop? Well, you don't even use a mop. You use a brush. So
yeah,
that's the things that they sell are not something that you would typically use. It'd be more like what ground guys use. So
that's a good
lower level.
The lower level guys.
Lower tier.
Listen, I'm not going to say we're the lower rung because we're not as nerdy as those dudes are. We're a step above the lower rung. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Zane and his friends are all nerds. We're not nerds, dude. They're nerds, not us.
Yeah.
Even though I like
his
Zane.
dad is like my favorite person.
Who, Mike?
Man. Yes.
Dude, he's the
God, I love
sweetest
him.
man you will
I
ever meet
love
in your
that
life. He is
man.
such a sweet man.
He
Dude,
sent
he
me
is
a
such a
voice
man.
text today, and
If I was
can't
going to
say what
listen,
it was saying, but it was dirty, and it was.
it was dirty. Let me say
He
this.
told me the same thing.
I don't know.
Yeah, you said the same. Yeah.
I don't know if we said this at the huge convention at the townhouse or not, but I'm fairly certain it was said. You know, because there was a few of you that were kind of drunk. But if I was gonna cuddle with a grown man, it would be Mike.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I don't feel like it would be in any way homosexual or inappropriate. You know what I mean? It would be definitely like to keep each other warm or comfort each other. It would be totally heterosexual. You know what I mean? I would be completely comfortable in his arms.
That's got the height and the fat to keep you warm.
Whatever, Tim. Just for that, you're freezing to death, prick.
Yeah, Mike is.
I'm gonna be little spoof.
Yeah.
Mike's almost convinced me to go to the IWCA next year because it's in Orlando. I may go.
Is it in Orlando next year?
Yeah, that's what he was telling me. That I think it is.
I'll be there. I'll be there if it's in Orlando.
Well, I thought of that. I was like, well, Mark will definitely be there because
I can't.
Jacob
not go.
would be there. So
it's 125 miles from me. I'm going.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Just because
the huge was a lot of fun, and it was more fun just meeting Fletcher and several other people I wanted to meet, and seemed very well organized. We had good times though, so
that was the first time I got out since I broke my femur. That was the first I broke and had surgery.
Yeah, that's right. You did say that. You're like, man, you looked like you hadn't been out of the house.
Yeah, I had it, man. I was like I said, I've been had to use a cane, and when I got there and parked my truck, I left the cane in the truck. That was my first time going without it. So I was like, I am not about to see all these guys and be using a fucking cane.
No, you should have you should have rocked the cane, because then we would have treated you with even more.
Yeah, you know what, Fletch? If you go
hospitality,
we're gonna go to the Salvation. We're gonna go to Salvation Army and get you a walker with a horn on.
Where's the huge this year? The huge, I think, is always going to be in Nashville. Yeah. I think
it's a nice spot.
Well, I think it has something to do with the union. I don't think they can do it anywhere but a few certain places, and I think that's just the best place to do it for them.
It was nice in there.
It was, but I think this time, if I do go, I don't think I'm gonna drive down. Of course, I would like to go to the IWCA. The only way I'm getting on a plane is if Richie goes, or if Mark's gonna be there. I'd go to the IWC and get on a plane with that.
I will fly to Cleveland and fly with you.
I will.
Dude,
that
would be rad.
I'll just meet you in the airport. Yeah.
I would do it if someone went with me. I would do it because I would go. My first time, I don't want to do it by myself.
Yeah, I feel like the way back, I'd be like, all right, you've got this.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go direct home.
Yeah, I just need like someone to go with me the first time, just to be like, reassure me, like, hey, dude, it's not that bad.
I'll drive up and meet you guys in Cleveland, and then I'll fly back at home.
There's going to be a 3-story hotel or something you got to do that you're not going to be able to show up for.
Yeah, in February.
I went to Nashville.
You did.
I'm going.
You did.
Now.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I just had to wait till the boys are bigger to go. Yeah, I couldn't go to the huge.
So, Fletcher, being that you're not really doing as much work as typical work do you do? I mean, how are you feeding the family now and yourself there? What are you doing now?
Well, I mean, I work, don't get me wrong.
I know, I'm not hating on you. I'm just,
I mean, right now, today, do
you not want to talk about it?
Man. You know what I mean?
Do you not want to talk about it?
Huh?
Do you not want to talk about it?
No, I'm just trying to actually think. It's just my days, they're so all over the place, man. Like, typically I get up at like 4:30 a.m. And I get to my shop at like 6:30. My guys don't get there till about 7:30. And they'll go out to whatever job we're at, and then I'll pretty much take care of all the invoicing, all the jobs, all the contacting. Then I'll go out and try and bid some jobs. I've been bidding nothing but high rises lately. I've actually doing well on that. Real well on that.
Good.
And then
congratulations, man.
Thank you. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is when I try and go out in the field all day. You know what I mean? And be out there all day long from first thing in the morning till at night. And that's the thing. There's even some of these days coming into these jobs lately. where I've had to be out in the field 5 days a week doing like some of these buildings. That's the thing. It's like I went from doing nothing but sexy buildings, and we've got a few sexy ones, you know, but all the ones I've gone after and have coming in, that's all I'm going after, you know, and so I'm trying to get those here. But so I'm doing a lot of the water fed, a lot of the 2 and 3 and 4 story stuff to where you're out there grinding, you know what I mean? It's a grind, you know, especially.
Yeah. So you're doing your own thing now?
Well, I work for S&K, but they have me running. They have me running the Nashville branch.
Oh, okay, cool, dude.
Yeah, I run the Nashville location.
Awesome, man.
And it's just my days go from, like I said, it'll start at 4:30, start with the crew one day, be out in the field all day to where they had to leave at 4:30. I stayed till almost 6 to get the job done, then open up my laptop in the truck, going through 36 fucking missed emails throughout the day, missed calls, you know, and it's like, not only am I trying to bring in new work, which is all the high rises I'm bringing in, I'm trying to get the work that is on these books and schedules, everything to the correct pricing, where it needs to be, you know, and it's a blessing that I have someone, you know, like the CEO of Dietrich and our owner Scott, you know, they really put a lot of faith in me, man. They were just like, dude, we were considering closing the Nashville branch down. They said, but if you want to take it and run with it, they said, you know, I believe you can do it. You know, and that's what Dimitri told me. He was like, this is basically your company in Nashville. Whether it succeeds or fails, it's 100% on you. And and he's right, you know, but they're with me every step of the way when it needs bids, when I got questions, when I don't understand how to do something. Every one of them is a phone call away, voice chat away.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Every one of them, the amount of help I have if I need it. Like I said, man, it's a blessing, and the fact that I brought my old crew over. You know, once I came over, I brought in John to run operations for me, and then I brought in Chris as well, the one who came up to me on the street. You know, and me and John trained him basically from the ground up. He came on with us too, and we kept one guy who was at the current place when I got there, and that's all we got right now. But it's labor numbers are really well.
So were you working with SNK last year, or this started? Michael got you. You said Michael helped you out.
Michael helped me out with this.
Okay. So you're not working for the guy you were working for when you came on the podcast last year.
I'm not.
Oh. Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You ought to come to South Florida and West Palm, because the SNK here is a clown show, dude. I mean, it's a total clown show.
Well, unfortunately, you know, and that's the thing. There's a lot of our cities that we're in where it's either they are amazing, you know, like some of the best. Then you go to cities like Nashville, where out of all 17 locations, Nashville was their least performing location when we have one of the best markets.
Right.
You know, and Dimitri told me, he was like, man, already, he said, the improvement you've done, he said, you've blown all of us away, you know, with what you're doing, the work you're getting done, the new work you're bringing in. So I mean, I'm really trying to turn it around, man. Just because,
we had someone ask here if your old boss retired.
No, he's still doing it. He's still doing the thing, man. I don't see him retiring anytime soon. I mean, when he does, I hope he reaches out to us again and is willing to sell. I'd love to get those contracts back, you know, but at the end of the day, there's so many in Nashville. I respect him. I'm not going to go after his work when there's so many,
right.
ways. But there was one building I came to a while back to bid, and who shows up to bid it against me but him?
Wow.
Yeah.
You know? But the thing is, after that, me and him walked around for almost an hour doing numbers together, him going over mine, me going over his, tell me what I missed, you know. And at the end of the day, it's just like, you know, he told me he was proud of me, and he was like, man, you got to do what you got to do. He said, you know, and I'm here if you need me, you know. So it's just like,
that's good,
that man did a lot for me.
That's good, man. Because there could easily be hard feelings there, you know, on his part.
They're some at a time, but the thing is, for me,
especially with the window cleaners mentality, whether you're an owner or operator, that mentality. So he must be a pretty good dude if he's, you know.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, me and him, like, I was the last one he ever trained. You know, he had to get off a rope. I don't want to get into his personal business, but he had to stop rappelling after training me. So I was like the last one he ever got to train, and like he really, when my buddy John told me, because he'd been doing it years prior, he was like, I've never seen him baby someone the way he babied you, or like put time into you and worked with you. So I have a really big appreciation for him, and that's like you go in his office at his house, and it's pictures of me and him up on his wall. And so at the end of the day, we may have went separate ways, but he said, man, I want you to better your life. I want you to do what's best for you and your son. He said, and at the end of the day, I'm not going to be mad at you for bettering yourself. So it's just like,
there's not a lot of people out there that can do that.
No, it takes a good man.
It takes a good person to be able to be like, I want to see you do well. You know what I mean? So that it takes a big person to be able to be that way.
I wouldn't be in this position. The thing is, like, I was blessed to have came on to that company underneath him, to learn from him and be taught by him. The amount of experience I got and the jobs I got thrown into. Some guys clean buildings for years and don't get the chance to do the kind of projects I was doing for that man and learn the kind of things I was learning from that man. And it was a lot, it was a lot packed into those years, but it's just like the amount of knowledge I was taught. It's
you can't put a price on that. Yeah,
you can't. It's an absolute blessing.
I worked for a guy for about 4 years, and I learned high rise and whatnot. And I was cleaning a building downtown here, and I hear the horn blow, and I turn around, and it's him, and he rolls the window down. This is how the polar opposite of what your experience is. And I get a, hey, I didn't know you cleaned this building. Well, obviously I do, yeah. And he says, I'm going to buy your whole company. And I go, really? I go, okay. I go, instead of bullshitting me, I'm going to get in your truck right now. You're going to buy me lunch. And we're going to go over numbers. And I'm not taking notes. And you can stroke me a check. You can have the whole fucking thing. Well, I'm just messing around. I go mess around somewhere else, Get away from me.
Mark's like, dude, I'm the richest man in window cleaning. You're not going to do that to me.
I got 45 trucks.
I was like, you know what?
Not all of them have engines, but I got 45 trucks.
I'd like to think at the end of the day, I was a good employee. I showed up every day. I worked my fucking ass off. I learned a lot. Okay, I made you a lot of money.
Okay?
That's left, true. I gave you a 2-month heads up, and I trained my replacement. I go in 2 months.
Yeah, I had the similar experience to Fletcher. Like when John sold me the company, I mean, it wasn't so much an ultimatum, but I was just like, listen, man, this isn't working for me financially anymore. It's just not working anymore.
Right.
I need to go out on my own, and I'd hate to be, bidding against you. He's like, well, I'll sell it to you. And now today, he's like, just to see what you've done with what I started and now where you're at now. And he goes, the product work that you do and going the places that you're going and doing the things that I see you doing on the internet and how well you've grown the business. He goes, I'm super proud of you, man. He goes, I'm super proud of you. So yeah, I mean, there's people on both sides of that spectrum. You know what I mean? Like
I got someone who's still a bitch to me, and I quit working for him 17 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, good fucking God.
Again, like the exact opposite.
He steals my time. He still steals my time. He still takes them. He does. Yeah. He still does.
But no, I even because Bridgestone Tower, it's one. I don't know if y'all saw it when you came to Nashville. The one that lights up red at night.
Yes.
So we've got that contract, and I'm restoring that whole building. I got them on restoring it, and since we already did it, it needs to be done. And I had talked to him about it, that I had got that. I said, I'm about to do a test drop. I said, we're going to do 2 drops. I said, and I'm going to use BioClean and scrub pads. He said, that may work. You may want to use buffers. He said, but he's like, but if it doesn't, use this. It's what we used here. You know what I mean? So it's like,
right.
And it didn't come out as great with the scrub pads and BioClean, so we're going to have to use that.
No, you can't sacrifice, you can't compare something you're putting in your hand, which, especially on it, let's say a 40-story and you got 80 windows to do. You ain't doing 80 windows with your hands. You need power equipment, yeah.
Now, well, the thing is, we're going to use that one restore, which is, that actual acid. Yeah, so we're gonna have to do that. I mean, it's
Mark said, "Ooh,
it's up there. It's up there." And he's right. He's right to say, "Ooh." That's why I wanted to try.
Let me ask you this, Fletch: is it a mineral deposit or what is it?
It's the calcium. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's what's gonna happen: you're gonna come back next year, and I will bet you the farm right now that if you acid wash that building 1 year when you come back on this podcast, that building is going to look worse than before you did what you're about to do. Trust me, I know. Because I've done it.
What I'm trying to do is because we restored the Regions building down there, we restored the Phillips building down there, we restored the Viridian building down there. All three of those with this same process.
Okay.
With my old boss. And they look beautiful. And we've done those. We just finished Viridian last year. We did Regions 4 years ago. We did Phillips almost 4 years ago too. I don't know everything. Like I said, I don't know everything.
No, that's fine. I'm kind of wondering how is calcium getting up that high on a building? Is it stone and glass and stone and glass?
It's more hard water. This is all glass. This is just from the sun shining on it being that small. The thing about this chemical, when you use it, that's the hard thing, man. It's why I don't want to use acid, because it is so. If you fuck up and if you do it in the sun, you're burn done. Those fucking windows, and then they got the big white burn in them. And I've done that before. Actually, when we did it on LNC Tower, that was my first time. This one right up here that says LNC. We restored that one, and that was my first time using it. And there's still 2 windows on like the 27th floor that are just scorched from where I burnt them. Because the thing about the acid, it's like you have to rub it on and have like 15-20 seconds to let it sit. If the sun's on it, it's even less.
You're done.
Get it off, or it's all just, it's done, it's over. And so that's why I didn't want to use it, man. That's why I was trying.
Let me ask you this: are you doing these restorations off a chair or using a stage?
We're gonna get a stage out there.
Yeah, because you got to be able to have extra buckets of water.
You need buckets and you need the room. Unfortunately, I'd love to do it off a chair, but it's good.
And if you have to use a polisher, sitting in a chair with a polisher,
I don't want to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Not on a big building. Okay.
But yeah, it's what I'm gonna do first though, because we've already done the couple drops with the BioClean, and I wasn't too happy, obviously, with that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna drop some ropes from the top and climb up about 4 floors, and just do probably like the bottom floors down for probably 5 or 6 windows wide. See how those turn out, and if they look real great, then we'll hit the rest of the building that way. But I'm not gonna get a stage up on there from the very get-go until I can know it's gonna work. Right. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to do that. But I figure
you're not gonna test a little corner.
Timeline together.
You're not gonna test a little corner where it's not noticeable.
Yeah, an inconspicuous area.
An inconspicuous
part of glass.
You're not going to test an inconspicuous area of a see-through piece of material like on someone. You're not going to. That's not.
Yeah, and let me just say one more thing. The funny thing is
needed.
The funny thing
where it's needed.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, TJ, like you said, in the corner, which would be the hardest part to fucking repair if it's pushed up into the corner if you had to. You know what I'm saying?
I know. I just like it when people say that in pro window cleaning and Marc fucking goes off the fucking rails.
At what point is there something inconspicuous?
It's glass. It's see-through. Right. How is that inconspicuous? It's glass.
Right, I'm going to try this special polish on the inconspicuous place of a Porsche.
Oh, man. Sorry, Fletcher. Acid is for nerds. No, I'm just kidding.
I feel you. I did everything.
I'm just kidding, man. I'm only picking on you, dude. I'm only kidding.
I could. But
Marc's a good guy to pick his brain about this specific topic.
Yeah, you can call me anytime, Fletch. You can call me if you need.
He's the polished man over here.
I mean, if you are
first, I'm not getting a hydro. Hydro something.
Well, let me back this up though, because the building that I restored was about 20 years old at the time, and it was glass stone, like 4-foot bands of precast between.
This is all glass,
right? So what was happening was the silicates were coming out of the concrete and then etching the glass. So I didn't know what I was doing very much either, and not that you don't. What I'm saying is I didn't know very much at that time. Okay,
I agree.
So we crystal cleared the entire building, 17 floors with a huge peak penthouse and everything, and it looked like a diamond. Within 8 months, they called me in because we had the maintenance for 4 times a year, and they're like, "What is going on with the building?" And I'm like, "Well," I go, "it looks worse than before we did it." And then I started doing some research, and there's not a lot out there, but what it turned out was the acid left the glass very raw, and the building wasn't sealed. The stone never got sealed, which should have happened before we did our job, right? And it just, like a dry sponge, sucked it up. So if you got all glass, there's probably a better chance that it's not going to return. But I can tell you this: we ended up polishing that entire building, which took 10 times as long. Didn't pay 10 times as much, but to this day, it still looks very nice.
Those windows that you and I did at the Soldiers and Sailors Home, those two windows, and those two windows in those atriums, and the two windows that we in front of that tree right there, those are the best looking pieces of glass on the property.
Yeah, they probably held up.
Yeah, it held up. It held up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's something to be said about that mechanical polishing. That's real. It's real. That's a real thing.
Another thing I tell people too, now knowing what I know, what I didn't know 15 years ago when I did that mistake, and it was a mistake. Okay, even though I got paid, it was a mistake.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
If you choose to use those more aggressive chemicals, it would be very easy to go behind, especially if you're on a swing stage, and give a quick polish. Close the pores of the glass up.
Oh, we're going to seal them too.
Yes.
After this part of it, we're going to seal them. After the thing is, the way we're planning on doing it is when we actually get to the drops, we're going to acid an entire drop, and then the next day seal that entire drop.
Right.
Then move the stage, acid wash that entire drop, then seal that entire drop.
Right.
That's the plan. I hope it goes according to plan, but y'all know how that goes.
It never works out
subject
like the way
to change.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing was, Fletcher, when I bid that job, we got everything lined up. I bought drums of crystal, 5-gallon buckets of that shit, and we did samples in several locations on the building. And I cut the guys loose, and I got a phone call within an hour and go, hey, you need to come down here. I go, what? Everybody okay? What's up? No, it's just not working the way it did in the sample. And we were dumbfounded why it worked in some areas, depending on the exposure with the sun and everything. That's why I've always told people, if you're going to sample something, you got to sample it 4 exposures: north, south, east, and west. Because something in the sun for 12 hours a day is a hell of a lot harder than something that's damn.
You are damn right. I don't think guys in general that clean windows, and I wanted to say this about the chemical thing, and I'm not disparaging you at all, Fletcher, but I think there's a problem within our community itself. Not so much the people selling the product, but each other. We're all doing each other a disservice by trying to fix everything with something out of a bottle. Just like, hey, just go buy this and this will work. But you really need to know what you're doing to remove a stain. If you don't have a clue,
I don't want to use it.
Yeah, I'm not talking about you in particular. That's my thing. Is not you per se, but anyone that may be listening to this that doesn't have a lot of experience that comes across a stained piece of glass. Like, if you don't have the confidence or the experience and you're hopping on the internet to be like, hey, I got this and I'm going to bid this job, do not do that to yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, not just that acid, dude.
Yeah, you need to...
I use it, the amount of health problems using that stuff.
Marc,
man.
Oh yeah, Marc.
People think using gloves, the fumes up in the air, they get into your pores.
Yes.
You'll be itching.
Don't forget your ropes. You don't want that shit in your ropes.
Oh, every bit of your gear has to be replaced. That gets used by it. Safeties, cinders, all of it, man. That's why I didn't want to use it. It's the last case resort. It's like, we know how to do it, but I told my old boss when we worked for him, I never wanted to use it again because of the health things. That was my thing too. Was like,
that's exactly what I was kind of driving at. That's
the homeless people that sleep down there.
Well, that's what I was driving at. Is that you need to. That should be your very last resort. Is some super harsh chemical. Like even Marc showed me how to remove stains from glass. He was really thorough and allowed me to do it myself and watched what I was doing. And before I even touched anyone's house, I'll be honest with you, I went to my shop over here, my cousin's shop. I got out the polisher. He had some old windows laying around, and I did a bunch of those before I would, because I didn't want to. The one thing I was most afraid of is Mark kept saying, well, you don't want to heat the glass up. You don't want to heat the glass up. That's all I was worried about is breaking somebody's windows. You know what I mean?
Right.
Shattering a window. You know what I mean?
Well,
so
one thing I've always said is, number one, you never want to learn a craft on a customized window.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not a science experiment.
Right.
If you're going to treat it like one, okay, then go to somebody that knows a little more than you and get some advice. Number two, Fletch, what's sticking in my head is you talked about, your accident and health insurance. The issue with using these products, whether it's an acid or whether you're grinding glass and not wearing proper PPE, okay, and breathing in glass dust, it's not now that the problem is. It's 15 years down the road. Now, even if it happened now, based on what you said, you can't hold this guy responsible for, prove it, you know what I'm saying? So you got to protect yourself because that comes with age. You start to learn.
It's dangerous, and that's the thing. It's like, and like when we were talking about it with the people above me about doing it, I was like, the thing is, I said, we're going to have to get like the hazmat suits, the gloves, the mask. I said, all gear has to be replaced. Like all that has to be included in when you bid that, because none of that can be used anymore. But I've done those jobs and been out there in shorts and a t-shirt, and for half of a summer I was just peeling off flaky skin, not from sun. So that's the thing. And I see my best friend John, same thing happened to him. His pigment hasn't come back in certain areas. The thing is, we think it was the acid, so it's like, yes, we also know how dangerous it is.
Dude, if it's on your skin, it's in your fucking blood.
It's in your blood.
Okay? And like you said, it's not going to be a problem now, most likely, but even 5 years down the road, holding someone liable for, you got some kind of weird cancer growing on your skin. You don't need that. For what? For a clean window?
I've been even like myself more cognizant the last couple of seasons with, because I use an X-Jet a lot, you know what I mean? And I didn't really at first season or so I used that. I was just like, I just have my safety, my sunglasses on, aka safety glasses, and then I just be going to town. And then about halfway through the season, I was like, man, I started like my lungs, I felt like shit, you know what I mean, a couple of times afterwards. And I'm sort of thinking, well, duh, dumbass, you're sitting there believing you're breathing bleaching, you idiot. You know what I mean? And I started wearing a mask. I'm like, what a dumbass. You know what I mean? Like, what am I doing?
There was a discussion on one of the pressure washing pages about a guy that someone got a chemical burn from chlorine, right? And it reminded me, I had an employee, and we decided we were going to use a backpack sprayer. So I bought a nice Solo backpack sprayer, not a Harbor Freight one.
I already know what happened.
Right?
I already know what happened.
He left the cap less than hand tight. So he fills the thing up with 50-50 chlorine and water. Okay. And all of a sudden, I see the back of his shirt is white, change the color of the shirt. And I'm like, dude, you need to come over here and get that off and get the garden hose. He's like, it's starting to burn. So we took the garden hose to the kid for 20 minutes and gave him a clean t-shirt to put on. Within 3 or 4 days, his back was fucking raw.
Yep.
And it took months to heal.
Yep.
It's probably still not right.
Yep.
And I was like, there is no amount of money that you could give me to have an employee or myself put a backpack sprayer on, even with the cap on tight. I am not fucking doing that. Yeah.
Nope.
I mean, that's like, it's honestly, it's like chemicals are one thing, but it's along with getting educated on a lot of the safety and the dangers that what we do, repelling, and thankfully with Michael, I've had to take my health a lot more seriously ever since I broke my femur, because about a month before that, I started breaking out in staph infections, man, and I've had 7, since I broke my femur, and they've all been, pretty bad ones.
They can be nasty, yeah.
It can. I got to go see like a, blood specialist and all that stuff for it now. But the thing is now, I even wear those nitrile gloves every day, because a lot of these guys don't think of like when we're working on the sides of these buildings, and you get those cuts or rope burns in your hands that rip open, and then you're cleaning all these windows all day, and then all that dirt and grime,
soap and water and dirt and grime and everything that's on that glass.
Bucket you're just mixing in, And for me, the first staph infection I ever got is, everyone knows when you're hanging, what gets wet the most is your right knee or wherever your bucket's at, from pulling out brush out over and over. That's where I got the first one. you know, and it's just, you really got to take care of your health, man. And those are kind of some things I'm learning now, you know, not just from getting injured, but also actually these infections and shit I'm getting, they suck, dude. You know, they'll put you fucking down, and that's one thing that's going to piss me off. If I die from staph, I'll just be
right.
Well, luckily MRSA's scary, man.
I think that's what I have, because they have, every time I get it, I have to go
an IV drip.
They have to cut it open and then push all this stuff out, and then put me on antibiotics for almost like 2 weeks, man.
Well,
and,
MRSA isn't Seth's somewhat of a doctor. If you don't,
you know, sir.
Yeah. No, I don't know any of this shit. My wife's a nurse.
Well, which makes Seth the show doctor. He doesn't want to admit it, but he's definitely the show doctor.
10 times smarter than me, so
which
I don't know.
By proxy makes you a physician. But anyways, isn't that isn't the MRSA aren't MRSA infections? Aren't they like antibiotic resistant infections?
They're nasty.
I believe so. It's. Okay. I think she's had 2 people that we've talked about that's had it, and it can like spread. It like kind of like flesh eating. It's dangerous.
Yeah, it's super scary.
But staph and MRSA are like, I believe they're like kind of like twins.
Yeah,
that way.
I think don't a lot of those come out of the hospital? Like you got something while you were in the hospital?
I don't think it happens that often.
Yeah.
At least around here, she's at a small local hospital. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like.
Yeah,
services like 100,000 people or something like that. But I don't know. I don't hear about it much, man. Yeah.
Scary, man. It's nasty because when that shit comes out, man, once you start taking the antibiotics and like the hole, it'll look like just like a zit. Once you start taking the antibiotics, it'll get like that big. All the skin and everything dies around it. And once that stuff comes out, dude, it's not like it scabs over like a scab. It's just an open hole.
It's like a fucking volcano.
You can see down into your leg and just see the raw meat and everything. No blood coming out. Damn. It's just, it's
fucking
shit.
Make sure you watch that, dude. Watch that, dude.
Oh, yeah.
And another thing you got to really be careful of, because... I have some experience with getting skin infections. So I have super sensitive skin myself. But one thing you want to make sure, and I'm not saying that you are doing it, but if you're like antibacterial soap, like I'm gonna make sure I wash. You're destroying the healthy flora of your skin.
Right.
My suggestion, Fletcher, would be to go and get yourself some Defense soap. It's amazing.
That's what I use.
Okay.
That's
what
I use.
Good.
Yeah, the bar soap, the Defense.
Yes, that's really good.
I keep it on order, man. I keep that on order.
Tea tree oil and stuff like that's really good for your skin, man. Because any of that shit they market to you is not good for you, man. It ain't, dude.
No, antibacterial shit is horrible.
It's bad for
you. I keep hydrogen peroxide in the truck, man. Because I'll cut my hand and that's the first thing I do.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a good thing to do.
I use iodine like a real man or mercurochrome because I'm not a pussy.
Yeah, Mama used to use that.
Son, hydrogen peroxide will clean that shit out, dude.
I just like picking on son because he's a physician. You know what I mean?
Right.
I am Dr. Byers.
Dr. Byers. Your wife's a nurse, which makes you a doctor, of course, dude.
Right.
Which makes me
men are way smarter than women.
Good thing that my headphones are in.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Well, my mom and Jennifer are probably watching right now. Jennifer probably threw something at the
fucking television. She could come in and slap the back of your head.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was talking to Andrew and said, Seth wants to be a doctor. He goes, this is a family of learned doctors. It's not about who you, it's about who you know.
She's had the old bull. Now she
I come down the stairs and she sees my chest hair down a V down to my ball fro. I want to have the old. I've had the old bull.
So she grabs me by the wiener. Shut the fuck up.
I gotta watch it now that you said it.
Dude, I'm definitely gonna watch it afterwards now. Yeah. Oops. I do that every time we bring that up on this podcast. I watch it that night. Terrible.
Hey Fletch,
what is horseshit?
What do you think of the?
What about that?
What do you think of them? I just bought 2 of them. We haven't rode them yet.
I mean, honestly, I love that Descender, but Michael spoiled me with that clutch, man.
Mark, I thought you didn't do that anymore.
Well, we picked up a 5-story.
Okay.
And so we're not doing. I have no desire to do the 20s and 30s anymore, but I picked up a 5-story that the back of the building has an awning that runs the length of the building, and the end of the awning ends up in the water. So there's no other way
to do.
You can't get a lift back there. You can't get water fed back because you can't stand on it.
Are you gonna be doing that?
I think I might. I bought
What?
2 of them for a reason.
Man, hey, brother, you better stop eating now, brother. You better stop eating now. I don't think they sell rope for guys your size, man.
They got rope for me, boy.
They'll be eating a steak
Hey,
while
listen,
doing it.
hey, listen,
Right.
Mark. Hey, listen, Mark. Trust me. Hey, listen, brother. I got a treadmill sitting right here. I got to get on that bitch because I'm not gonna be able to use my ladder this summer. You know what I mean?
Treadmill's a great place to hang your laundry. I'll tell you that.
Dude, I've been sitting for 14 weeks. Yeah, man. I started working this week. I was like, God damn.
yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. I've just
dude.
been inside eating
Yeah.
pancakes
Yeah.
for 14 weeks, dude.
I got one of those. I got one of those under the desk. It's not a treadmill. It's a walking pad. I got one of those. I ordered one. I said screw it and ordered one. Yeah, I'm gonna.
I've been full time since Friday.
Oh, shut up, Tim. Nobody cares. You weigh like 3 pounds, you little dickhead.
I worked out all winter long just so I could handle them ladders.
Listen,
it worked.
Tim weighs 3 pounds. Him and Fletcher are a couple of toothpicks, and we don't want to hear your shit. Neither one of you. Neither one of you
Hey,
skinny
your joints
bastards.
can still hurt. He broke his femur.
Oh, femur these nuts in your mouth.
Yeah, dude, I was off. That's the thing. I was off for like 6 months, and then got cleared to go back, and started working, and went straight back to nonstop.
Really?
And doing something completely different too.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it kicked my ass. I mean, it's been kicking my ass a lot. You know, it's like for the first like 2 months there, up until like really the last week, maybe 2 weeks, I was averaging like 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night at best.
Yeah.
Right.
And one thing I will say, I'm not going to bunch you into this, Fletch, but I've spoke to a lot of guys, and I know anyone that's worked for me, if you do high-rise rope work, you pretty much have to do it every single day. A week off is one thing, but when you're out for 6 months, or you're doing a building every 3 months,
it's going to kick your ass, I'm sure.
Yeah, it will kick your ass mentally.
Dude, my first day back hanging before I brought my guys in, they had some people there. I don't want to say anything negative, you know. But my first day back, actually, on a building, going and rappelling with these guys, I'd set up 3 buildings, and I was like, all right, we're gonna get all 3 of these done today. I said, you're gonna hit this one traditional. You 2 are gonna water fit pull this one. I said, you 2 are gonna rappel this one with me, you know. And they were just like, we're gonna get all this done today. I was like, get it all done today, and y'all will make this. This is piecework now, not $1 hourly anymore. You want to make money? This is how. And so we get up there, and I did like all the overhangs and step outs, but it got to the point where I was doing 4 drops to these guys 1, you know, and it was my first day back.
Oh shit, man!
With a broken femur, with tethering my tools.
Wow.
You know, never doing any of that, and so I was just like, man, I need to get my boys here, you know, stat.
Right.
Tethering. You're tethering your equipment now too, huh?
Absolutely.
So I was going to ask you what the relationship with Michael Draper has done on your what effect it's had on your day-to-day work. So I guess that's one of the changes.
The thing is, man, you know, the amount of content I have recorded of people dropping stuff that I don't put online, you know, is it's quite a lot. You know, it's quite a lot, and the amount of disregard for what we do when you're working on these big buildings, you got coned off areas, you got a tape down there. The amount of disregard for people that walk underneath us time and time and time again, even when I'm down there sometimes here recently, you know, people just still walk off that area. You know, it's like for me, and it's all. Sorry, it's always bothered me. Like I always kind of thought we should. But
well, I'm super curious, and maybe you and Mark can clarify this for me. But I'm very curious as to why, like at a certain, I mean, when you're working at that height, why is it not commonplace to have someone down there? Because I seen in one of your videos where the UPS guy like fucking drove over your rope, and I'm just wondering why is it not commonplace while doing high-rise work not to have a guy like down there like with a sword ready to chop somebody's fucking head off? It's really strange.
I'm going to answer this, and then Fletch might have a different answer. As a building, as an owner, okay, at this point, paying someone to stand there and guard the ropes, which, if you have like a service drive or whatever, we always pull our ropes back up to the chairs. Okay, we put cones and slow people down. There's only so much you can do. Like a bank drive-through, you can't stop the bank drive-through.
Right.
That said, paying someone to stand there is a hard pill to swallow. Number one. You know what's going to happen after the first half hour of someone standing there? They're going to go on Facebook. They're going to go on TikTok. They're going to do updates. They're going to do videos. They're not going to be doing their job. It's like a ladder footer. The guy foots the ladder for the first 3 climbs. After that, you look down and he's got one hand on it and the phone's in his other hand. It's true. And you're paying.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
I've never been on a
You're
ladder.
absolutely right. And the thing is even on
Hold on.
one of the last buildings I did, my old
I'll be
boss,
back.
actually
You guys keep
had
going.
a ground guy down there, and I liked him a lot. He was a really nice guy. But it's to your point. He was down there on the ground, and one of the other guys actually dropped a squeegee. He wasn't paying attention. That thing landed like 3 feet away from him.
Right.
From a 35-story building.
Right.
And it's like that could have killed him.
Yeah, it would have killed him. Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know, but for me that day when my rope got pulled, it was windy that day, and that's why we actually had our ropes tied down to the little pylon things outside of the loading dock,
Right.
By the street.
Right.
But I was on the far end, and I'm riding those lines. And so when you're on almost a 40-story building, we had made it almost halfway at this point. So my lines had stretched a shit ton.
Yeah.
So instead of being tied tight with a little slack, they were now all the way over and drooped in front of the parking garage.
Right.
So when this driver came to get into the garage, he untied my ropes and just slung them out, so he could get in.
Right.
Well, I guess when he got out, he just didn't even think about it and just started driving away and got caught in his tire. And security dude ran out to him. Like by the time I started yelling and noticed, like I felt the tension, from right there, and I started looking and yelling. By the time I started yelling, the dock security was already at his door yelling.
Luckily, he was there. Yeah.
Luckily, he was there. But the same that goes to my point too. Had that line had got pulled, which was the one I was riding, say it snapped, and I'm sitting there hanging on my safety. Even then, with as long as I've been doing it, as many big buildings as I've done, in this industry, I wouldn't have known how to self-rescue myself. I did not self-rescue until Michael taught me. And it's just setting up different now too, like the way if my rope would have went there too, my entire chair, bucket, and everything would have went down like a bomb down to whoever's below me. The way I actually set up now, everything's connected to you with that frog thing. Right. So if it does go, I still have my chair, still have my descender. It's just gone through. I connect right to my safety line and get down. So it's just like learning the knowledge. And the safer ways to do things. Not only does it give you more confidence, but you understand, like, there's some buildings I'd go over and you'll look at your safety and see that it's had some acid burn eaten on it, just like, man, this is a sus drop. I hope this thing catches me if something goes sideways.
Right.
And having the knowledge to know, okay, well, if something does go sideways, this is what's going to happen. This is how I'm going to get out of that.
Right.
Like that.
And when you get that into your routine, it doesn't take you that much longer to be safe, because your first goal is to get to the ground as fast as you can. Let's be real. And especially if you're working with other guys. But when you start to figure out the safety aspects of it and it becomes part of the routine, like I said, it's almost seamless. I mean, the tool lanyard thing, the helmet and lanyard thing, I understand the helmet thing. Okay. The lanyard thing, we've tried it, and my guys didn't give it enough chance. Okay, they're like,
it takes a couple days. Like it took me about a building or so. It's really figuring out where to set them to not have the lines cross and have a good system. But what I realized too is that was always one of my biggest things, and the same guys that I hang with. When you're on those big buildings and your tools aren't tethered, I can't tell you how many times my knuckles would be like this at the end of the day, gripping so tight, and you're being so cautious. And it's not that I'm less cautious at the top of these buildings now, but now that I know my shit isn't going anywhere, if I
don't have the death grip on it all day.
That's not the back of my head either. I'm able to just flow and go. And it's like, it hasn't slowed me down. I mean, I've been right next to people whose tools weren't tethered at first, and still coming back and was able to keep up with them just fine.
What's funny is, though, I think I dropped a squeegee maybe once or twice, okay? And
I've dropped
it sucks. It sucks. And I had a guy working for me, and he I'm a firm believer that a lot of it isn't required to go through so much safety training. A lot of it has to be common sense. Okay, so we're rigging up, and I look over, and this kid Caesar that's working with me, he's got a big SMC steel carabiner sitting on the wall. The wall is about 8-10 inches thick. Okay, and I'm like, hey, there's foul number one. He's like, what are you talking about? I go, that carabiner just sitting there. Because I'm going to use it because he liked to lower his bucket down on a rope. I always put it on the chair, and I'm like, dude, it's not that you're going to use it. It's the fact it's just sitting there now. Mm-hmm. If I climb over or you climb over, not paying attention, and kick that thing off the building,
it's a missile.
The first thing you're going to do is yell, and someone's going to catch it in the face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep, they're dead.
A matter of fact, I'm going to trash him. Remember the Gucci shoes dude? We'll leave it at that. That came on like one of the first podcasts.
Yeah.
He put up a video of doing chair work in New York, and he's like, his whole video was, we're all about safety 100%. We've been through the training, this and that. And I pointed out, why is there a carabiner sitting on that wall where that guy's about to climb over? And then he took the video down, because you know what? All it takes is you're focused on getting in your chair safely.
All you're focused on is putting your Gucci shoes on and looking cool on the internet, and you kick that over and scuff your Gucci shoes, and there's a carabiner missile going down to destroy someone's life.
Right.
Idiot.
Right.
And yeah, dude, it's and you know as well as I do, as many times you do this, man, it's like accidents are gonna happen. You know what I mean? It's like I've seen someone's hook break. I've seen a bucket go. Like I was hanging one time with a pole, and it was one of those under ones, with the clasps that tend to break sometimes and slide loose.
Yeah,
and I was hanging on a 20-story building. There was a construction site right next to it where they were building another one right next to it, man. And we get down past the point where I had to use the pole and just doing the rest of the drop. We go to get off our boards, and you get into the parking garage like 8 floors up. So they're still all the way down, and then, they're building another building. And I go to get into the parking garage, and I look and see that the bottom part of my pole is gone. I look down there, and that pole is sticking in the ground.
Right. It could have been somebody.
Who's got the fan on their desk?
No.
Not me.
Nobody's got a fan on their desk or something vibrating or humming like
my
a fan.
mic is muted.
I know it's not you, Jacob.
I've got my heater on.
Tim, I don't like you.
I don't know.
You be cold in there.
Tim.
Bro, it's
why don't you spend some of your millions on like a warm video?
Because he's not allowed to smoke in the house.
I know, but I'm saying, why doesn't he had a full on. Listen, this guy had a full on karaoke studio in his garage. He can't corner off one spot to be warm in.
Right here.
That's probably fun.
I mean, yeah. Have you ever heard Tim do karaoke drunk before? It's great.
Fun time.
It's great.
Yeah, it's great.
It's amazing.
See, when you come down for the huge convention, I'll be healed this year, and we can actually go out and
I'm not. Yeah, you guys can do that. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I'm not a go out.
Me and Jacob are not go out guys.
It would be a special occasion.
We don't even go out. I don't drink, Fletcher.
If we
I've drank it like 4 times since I broke my femur, and most of them have been where I've had like
we lost Tim
a single beer. Like I haven't been drunk or had alcohol or anything since I broke liquor since I broke my femur. I've had a beer at the airport, a beer out of town when me and Mike were out of town. Like, you know what I mean? It is very casual if I have something to drink now.
I'm just not a good I'm just not a good drinker, dude. I'm not a good person when alcohol's involved.
I mean, get mad if that's.
I'm a good time, but it usually turns into a bad time. You know what I mean? Like
a good time goes too long.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
typically turns into a bad time.
It's bound to go down.
Yeah, it typically turns into a bad time. You know.
If you think I'm a piece of shit now, I'm like 10 times more.
Yeah. If you don't like me now, it's magnified by 10 once you mix alcohol, dude.
I think I'm the only fun drinker on here. I always have a good time.
Yeah. Well, Seth, I didn't mind you. Micro Mike, I could do without ever being around him drinking again. That dude is an absolute. He's a Riri.
He doesn't know how to.
He is a chest slapping when he's drinking. It's bad, dude. It's bad, dude. I'm not a fan. I like Mike, but when he's drinking, it makes me not like Mike. You know what I mean? I can only imagine Jacob drinking. That has got to be horrible.
Jacob would make it his personal mission to irritate the
Everyone,
shit out of me.
yeah.
He would just be behind me irritating.
Yeah, just being as
kinda
irritating
dig it,
as
but
possible.
Yeah.
What happened to old Timothy?
He said his Skype just shit the bed.
Crash.
Aggravate people, and I'll try to start a fight with everyone.
Oh. Wow, you're such a lovable teddy bear. What do you mean?
No, not when I'm drunk.
He spends all his money on the GMC.
That's true. Mike missed the part where we were talking about him at the beginning of the show. We're going to make him go back and watch it. We're not going to tell him what we said about him. He's
He
going to have to.
rewatches the podcast.
He's gonna have
in a minute.
to.
That's Mike Nichols.
Yeah, he's going to
Well.
have to. He's going to have to go back and watch it to hear what we said about him.
I talked to him on the phone for like an hour.
He don't call
Yeah,
me
I
no
was
more.
like-
He don't call me no more.
He hadn't called me in a while, but
I don't fish. I don't
fish.
fish. I'm not cool. So
I don't fish either. I know. I've grown up on the ocean my whole life. I fucking hate fishing more than anything. I can't stand
it's
it.
cool, man. You don't want to.
I don't know why, man.
You don't
I'm
want to
trying
catch the awesomest fish in the world, the perch, on my lake at any time in your life. That's cool. Treat me like shit more, Mike. It's cool. It's cool, bro. It's cool,
You will.
bro. It's cool, bro.
He will. He
I
will.
know.
The only time I ever
I
have a
know.
good time is when we go tuna
It's fine.
fishing.
That's
it.
why I
Only
keep
time
you
I've had
and
it's
Mike
fun.
and all the rest of you fucking nerds at arm's length because I know you're a bunch of hating cunts.
I love you. I love you, TJ.
It's cool, dude. It's whatever.
It's whatever. No, it's not whatever.
No, it's whatever, dude. I'm not
Don't-
tripping on
don't-
you at all. You're a twat. It's fine. Let's keep
Don't,
going.
don't be a bitch.
Let's keep going.
Don't be a bitch.
Is this the Perry
Mark.
Taint fan club? Nope. We
I got a
like
question, Mark.
we
Oh,
like we
please?
like yeah, we like Perry as much as we like you.
Yeah.
Which is
Hey, Mark.
we don't like you at all, Cletus.
It's about
What
as popular as Rugburn.
Yeah, you're about as popular as anal warts. You're about as popular as a prolapsed anus.
Oh no.
Jesus.
You're
He
about
looks
as
like-
popular
That
as
dude
the
that dude
sword
looks like
Mark
that dude looks
can
like
get
he
away on
couldn't
his
act.
back.
He looks like he couldn't open a can of ravioli with a fucking pull top. That guy right there, Uncle Cletus. Whoever Uncle Cletus is, I'm not a fan.
It's definitely someone trolling.
Yeah, not a fan.
Mark, who's when you or recognize actually all you guys,
Mhm.
when you've hired people, is it easier for y'all? I mean, my mindset is it's easier to take someone that knows nothing. You know,
100%.
okay, because I have a lot
100%.
of people that
If you get somebody that's got high-rise experience and they're looking for a job,
Tell him
they
to fuck
come with
off.
one or two things: bad habits or huge issues.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
The best employee I ever had, and I mean that in a way that I've got really good guys now, and I had some of the best high-rise guys, but the best that I didn't know what a bucket was at the time. And I taught him how to clean windows, and I'm like, we also do this. And he's like, he was right out of the Air Force.
All right, Uncle Cletus. You know what you get, sir? The band hammer.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
That was quick.
But yeah, Fletcher, you're better off taking it. And don't, I think it was you that told us the story. You learned how to clean windows, and then they chucked you off a 40-story building.
Yeah,
Personally, I don't agree with that. I told you that back then. You start them off 5, 6 stories, teach them. I'm sure Michael would probably say a similar thing. But what is the difference? Well, you don't want them to freak
Mental.
out.
Mental.
Yeah, mentally.
Mm.
But my best, you find someone with good work ethic and teach them the trade. Okay, you're gonna get a long term guy. And if he's too smart, he doesn't need you.
Yeah.
But he'll be around for a while.
that's kind of where my head was at too, because I'm
Yeah.
wanting to bring on like 2, and that's I have a lot of experienced guys that are asking, and you got a lot of people that are around my age and maybe even a little older, that are asking, and it's like I know the shape of my body,
Mhm.
what
Right.
I mean,
Right.
and what I'm trying to do with this branch and what I'm trying to do in Nashville. Not only if I can teach them young at 18, 19, or 20 and get them a good career, good money, a good life ahead of them, they're also in their prime. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And so
Yep.
it's like it is a win-win. I know it's going to take more work, but that's kind of where my head was at too. And I can teach them the right way from the ground up. I don't.
We got to
The
make sure it's
thing
a
is-
prerequisite next time that
No.
if you come on the
Yeah.
podcast, you can't do it sideways.
Is it bothering you?
It really bothers me. Aesthetically, it
Oh, if you
bothers
would have
me.
told me sooner, I would have just like.
It
Aesthetically,
looks like he's
really
taking
bothers me.
glamour shots.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, yeah. It looks like you're
Well,
like
you can
a
save
model.
those for later.
I feel
You
like we're on here.
can have it later and be like, God
I feel like
damn.
we're on here with
Go for
Keith.
it.
I feel
Yeah,
like this is
yeah.
the Keith Caliphas interview where he's got 17 fucking cameras set up and he keeps
Yeah.
switching cameras. You remember?
Just
You
pull
guys
the
remember that? Like, how pretentious is this? Like, dude, we're just cleaning windows. I know you're a big deal wherever the fuck you're from, but you gotta relax, dude. You know what I mean? I know you're Keith Caliphas, but relax, bro. You know what I mean? Jesus, good lord, sir. Yeah.
No, think how much it's bothering me too, though, because it's like every time it would look better if I look
Right.
at this one, but it's such a small little laptop screen, and it's like the desk is here and
Yeah.
it doesn't sit right. Like
Uh-huh.
this is the way you want to sit in.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Such
Just-
a dick.
So what do you guys think about the podcast?
Yeah.
I think it's great. This is a great show that we got going on here.
Dude, you look good like that. I like that.
You like
He
that?
liked you from the back.
Hey, you can really see my Uncle Larry bald spot on the
It
back
was
of my head when I
fitting.
turn around.
You seem more knowledgeable though, because it
Yeah.
just seemed like a wise bald guy.
yeah.
almost. Yeah.
Like
Dr.
wise
Phil's
beyond
talking.
my years. Yeah, definitely, dude.
Oh,
Part
yeah.
of me wants to grow my hair out. Nobody knows except for a few people watching who my Uncle Larry is, but part of me really wants to grow out like the sides and the back of my hair really long and just leave the top bald. Like I want to do it
Friar
really
Tuck?
bad, dude.
A Friar Tuck haircut?
Yeah,
Hell
yeah, dude. Just
Hell
Dude,
yeah.
I'm
I think
trying
it-
to save mine.
I think it'd
It's
just be
doing
killer,
exactly
dude.
That. It's crazy growing in the back, but up here it is just
You
leaving,
just run-
dude.
yeah, dude.
It's running. It's
Well,
running.
listen, I'll tell you how I found out.
Stress, my guy.
Me and Jennifer, we're sitting there talking, and I was like, she said something about, I was like, I'm thinking about growing my hair back out. She's like, you can't. You're going bald. It's not going to grow like it used to. I'm like, watch. The reason why my head's bald is because I shave it. So I'm like, I'm not gonna grow. I'm gonna grow my hair out. You know what I mean? And then like, I'm not too much of a in the mirror type of guy. You know what I mean? So, I'm sitting there talking to her, and I just happened to get a glance at myself from the back, and I'm like, holy shit, I am fucking bald, man. You know what I mean? It was, you sometimes it just creeps up on you. You don't know what's happening. You know what I mean?
You look at a little mirror and like actually like
Yeah.
you don't see it for a while, but
Yeah.
then you like face this way and put a front mirror and look what the back
Yeah.
mirror show. You're like, Jesus Christ,
Yeah,
nothing
yes,
and style
yes.
it to hide it. There's no hiding it. It's just
Nothing,
there.
nothing
Bro,
will
I
humble
gotta-
you more than a pool picture, man. You're like, oh god, damn, son.
Oh man,
That is true,
That is
yeah.
going back, my
Yeah,
guy. Yeah. It's like,
yeah.
yikes.
Oh man.
Thank you, Jason. I was kind of leaning the same way, but that's why I wanted to talk to all you experienced, knowledgeable gentlemen that I've been so blessed to have in my
I
life.
think you need a combination of both. I mean, it sounds like you already got the experience, guys.
Mm.
So now you can just train guys.
Some youth,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, because I got 2 guys that have been doing it for like
Mhm.
forever, and
That's
the other
actually
4
really
guys
smart.
are like year or under.
Mhm.
It was,
Yeah.
it was a blessing for me that John came because we've been best friends for 20 years.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And he's the one who brought me in, and he's got like 11 years.
Mhm.
And he's the one who trained me. And it's like, I didn't realize it for a long time. It's what I tell people every day. I was like, John's the one who trained me. But even back then, we were on piecework. So it's like, I know what we're capable of now together and what he's been capable of.
Mhm.
But I didn't realize how much money he was losing training me when we were on
Right,
piecework.
right.
Like, when he could be hitting 7 drops in a day, he was only hitting 5 because he wanted to stay with me, make sure I was rigged right, make sure I was taken care of. And it's like, to have someone who genuinely cares when you get in that mindset when you're
What's
smashing
costing
glass
them
off
money? Yeah, that
Mhm.
shows a
well,
friendship.
he's got
there.
passion too.
Yeah.
When you're on jobs that don't pay well, the windows are hard watered as fuck. The seals are running,
Mhm.
and it's just a shit show. You're like, it's underbid anyways. Let's just fucking hit it and quit it and go. And he's over there like, can you guys get this to scrub out? Can y'all get these runs to stop? Just like busting out all the stops, trying everything. To have
Right.
someone that genuinely cares that
Mhm.
much,
Mhm.
and we've been through it all, man. Like I said, we're both like almost 10 years off all the hard stuff. We've been through charges. We've been through it all together.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So it's just like to have someone like that by my side every step of the way, and there's actually like a legit growth plan for me and for him up through the company. It's a really
you know,
big blessing.
dude, I gotta say, man, you know, this show, you know, I put a lot of work into growing this channel by myself.
Mhm.
And then these guys have dedicated themselves to coming on every week on here and, you know, doing this podcast. And, you know, it's now, we are now reaping the fruits of our labors as far as our recognition and the kind of, you know, interaction that we're getting with the podcast. And I think, you know, what's unfortunately been missed over years of doing this podcast is the actual wealth of knowledge and the actual, like, on the glass wisdom and experience that people missed out because they were too afraid to listen to a bunch of guys that like to fart into phones.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I know we're goofballs, but we are, you know, there's over 100 years worth of window cleaning experience sitting right here, dude, you know?
Yep.
Combined, you know what I mean? Like, in different areas and different aspects of the business, we all kind of do our own different thing and all are experienced in our own little way. So, you know, things like this, I think, you know, it's unfortunate that it's overlooked at times. You know what I mean?
It's the only real job I've ever had in my entire life.
And the reason why I bring that up is because the experience thing got brought up, and you know, inexperience really shines through. And I don't think there's a lot of people that want to be social media influencers and stuff like that. I don't think they realize that their inexperience shines through in the stuff that they do, and they're not getting the recognition they feel that they deserve. How about get your ducks in a row first and then try to, you know, be the cool dude?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That would be
Right.
and it's the same way with the business that itself. You know, you might want to stop and listen and learn first, and then try to, you know, be a superstar. You know what I mean? There's levels to this kind of thing that we're all doing, and that's in all aspects, not just this industry, any industry.
Yeah.
You know, even like when I was in the trades, you know, building houses and stuff, you know, I wasn't running around like I was King Kong, you know, because you get humbled really fucking quick trying to cut a rafter,
Right.
you know what I mean, or a stair, you know, a stair stringer. You get humbled really fast, you know what I mean, when you
Right.
screw up $120 piece of 2x12, you know what I mean, like,
Right.
you know what I
Right.
mean. So, like, you know, I'm not to disparage anyone from advancing themselves at all, but your inexperience really shows, and I don't think there's people out there that just don't realize it, and they take offense to things that are said, and it's just like, dude, you know what I mean? You're putting the cart before the horse, man. Get the fundamentals ironed out. You know what I mean?
You're so perfect at saying that, man, because like I started putting out content just because I've always done content even from video games.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
And but the amount that I learned in being receptive, you
Mhm.
know, it's like from
Mhm.
watching y'all's content, you know, watching you had a zero. It's why I'll still say, you know, the true zero. You stick to the true zero,
Mhm.
you know, and it's like learning that one. But, you know, I didn't realize it. I've always known people follow me and I'll get messages, and a lot of people, they say they get into the industry, but it wasn't until me and Michael were sitting up on Garden of the Gods, you know, up on the top peak looking out at the mountains together. And he was just like, man, he said, you have the opportunity, he said, to do a lot of things right and influence the next generation.
Mhm.
He said, you can either keep doing the things the way you're doing, he
Mhm.
said, you know, or get educated and do them safe for the right way and really help the industry and help people. And, you know, that's something that really resonated with me because he could genuinely care. That's the type of person I am.
Mhm.
And it just, it really does come full circle.
Yeah,
man.
you know, the reason why, you know, another thing, I had a conversation late last week with Nick Williams. I don't know if you guys seen him on TikTok, Master Squeegee.
Yeah.
He does
Love
great
it.
content, and he said something. Said something very, very humbling, and probably one of the nicest. I wouldn't say nicest things, but like realization for me. He's like, dude, he goes, I don't think you and Steve-O realized that you guys started doing this stuff on YouTube like 8 to 10 years ago. Tim, you guys don't realize that you like showed a generation of window cleaners that are like now starting, really to start to shine how to do what we do. You know what I mean? And I was like, I never really thought of it like that before. And it almost makes me feel like, with that realization, I almost now feel like a steward of my industry, where I need to make sure that although I do understand some of the things that I see on video are aesthetically pleasing, it makes me even more steadfast in making sure that my content is as true to the trade as I possibly can make it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to over soap windows or do things like a jackass because it looks cool. I'm going to show you how to do this quickly, efficiently, safely, and make the most money. Period. Yeah. That's the way I'm going to do things. I'm going to show you tools and equipment that work because I use them every day. I'm not just going to be like, hey, this thing's cool, you should buy it. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to use things that I use. You know what I mean? So you have a certain responsibility as a guy that makes content, or not even so much responsibility, but you need to make sure that you need to be open to the fact that if you set your ladder up backwards, not the 90% of the population is not an asshole. It just looks backward to us because the rest of us are like, that looks backwards. You know what I mean? So
there's something funky.
Yeah,
but
just be lightweight, humble. Realize that you're going to get some criticism. Some of it is unwarranted. Some guys are just being assholes to be assholes. But then again, there are other people that see what you're doing and they're like, they are paying attention. Like, well, man, that looks wrong to me. Don't be a dick. Just be like, hey, man, this is why I do what I do.
Right.
Or this is why it's set up like this. Be humble.
You pretty much answered your own question when you talked about teaching someone versus hiring experience. Now you've got the experience with Michael. He's gotten you going down a path. Why not share that with a younger generation?
Right.
Because I'm going to tell you this. You get a guy that comes into your shop that has 5 more years experience than you. It's going to be intimidating for you to tell him. You could say, well, this is the way we do it and you don't have a choice. But you're not going to teach an old dog new tricks overnight. Yeah. You'll get pushback.
Right.
You're better off to get a young guy and start from the ground up and build him mold him into a good high-rise guy.
Well, what do they say? It's easier to teach someone something new than to break old habits.
It's like anything else. Like my brother, my father was a great bowler. My sister's an amazing bowler. I'm a horrible bowler.
I don't see how, because you're super low to the ground.
No. Right. His
you know why?
It's the little arms.
No, because like my brother said, you grab that ball and throw it as hard as you can, and you laugh when you crush the pins. He goes, but you don't take them all down.
Bowling is more about finesse than you would think.
Oh, yeah, it is.
A lesson. I took a lesson and learned how to throw the ball. You never did. That's why you suck.
Right.
The same thing with what you're going to teach someone. Teach them right off the bat the proper way to do things, and he'll know nothing else.
It's really more about the placement of the ball going into the pins than it is how hard you're hitting them.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's like, it always goes back to me, and it's like a lesson. It was one of my first times doing one of my first buildings for my old boss, and it was just this little 2-story building, and the guys up top were just muling. They were having to mule the top of all of it. And the bottom floors, you could walk up to them, and I was tall enough to where if I got way up in the window and stood on my tippy toes, I could wet the whole window and squeegee the whole window all the way down. So he comes up after seeing me doing that, after he had given me a pole and a squeegee and was telling me to straight pull, and so I had made my way down a little bit, and he comes up and he's like, what are you doing? And I was like, what do you mean? And I was like, I'm tall enough and I can just reach, I can just do it this way. And he was like, yeah, you could. He said, but you're kind of wearing yourself out doing that. He said, I know this is new to you and it's hard for you to learn right now. He said, but if you learn this, he said, it's going to make it a lot easier for you and you'll be more efficient. He said, and it'll be better on your body. He said,
how often? Do you know how often I get shit in my I mean, I delete most of it, because I'm not arguing with you guys, but the why are you polling that comments? Why you can stretch up and hit that. I know I can stretch up and hit that, but why am I going to do that all day long?
Especially when you're as good a hero as you are. You know what I
Aw,
mean?
man,
they're,
thanks,
they're
buddy.
so fast.
Why am I going to do that? Because I fucking want to. That's why.
Yeah.
That is the answer.
But
There's something to be said,
It's lessons like that that just stuck with me. You know what I mean? When you just kind of
Right.
really be receptive and just kind of really listen. And he was just like, I'm not worried. He's like, right now, he said, this is how much this pays per window. This is what I'm paying you per hour. This is how many you're doing an hour.
Right.
Right now, you're technically losing me money. He said, but that's okay. He said, because you're learning. I want you to learn the right way.
What were you,
You know
gonna,
what I mean?
What were you gonna say, Seth?
I was just saying, I mean, a lot you can tell from some of the older guys are guys who don't have rotator cuff injuries, don't have wrist injuries.
Right,
Because
shoulder.
they learn, yeah. I mean, if you're always reaching for stuff, you're gonna have shoulder problems. You're gonna have elbow problems. Like people don't think you're gonna get it. You hit mid-30s, man, and you just see guys
Shows
drop
up.
like flies, man. Like you don't stretch, you don't drink water, you don't do this stuff, man. Yeah,
Like
you're
guys
in
that
trouble.
throw, believe it or not, guys that throw a wet towel over their shoulder, that's the worst thing you could do to yourself.
Yeah, you're gonna
I'm-
rot that shoulder up.
Is there a baby crying?
No, it's a puppy.
Oh,
I thought it was a baby, too.
yeah.
Who's got a puppy?
Oh, the puppy!
Puppy.
Jennifer's gonna like that if she's watching. It's a puppy. Oh,
That's
it's a
that
puppy.
picture.
The puppy dog.
Good boy.
Puppies. Puppies.
What's that dog's name? Like Nevea or Sailor?
Oh, I wanted to call her Cornbread, but I lost, and her name is Sailor.
Pretty dog.
Oh, man.
She is a pretty
cornbread.
dog.
Cornbread is way better than Sailor.
Homebred.
Yeah, cornbread.
Yeah,
I'll eat your cornbread.
yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
eat your
This is my
cornbread.
damn cornbread.
So does anyone? There's 19 people watching. We have about 20 minutes left to go in this
Got some
podcast.
questions.
Does
yeah.
anyone have any questions? I wish I had more channel members and I would put you guys up to the front. But since you guys are all cheapskates and don't want to give me and Tim $2, that's fine.
Oh.
Where's my $2,
Where's
John?
my $2, dude?
Want my $2?
Yeah, does anyone have any questions for Fletcher or the rest of the podcast? Is there any questions anyone has? If you
The chat's
answer them.
pretty quiet. I actually had chat up. Chat's
Well,
pretty
usually, typically, the high rise month, they're usually they're really paying attention and not really
Oh.
asking too
Yeah.
much. There's
There's a lot of ground guys on here.
There's a lot of ground guys on here.
Hey, I tell
Yes.
you what, man, those water fed poles. I mean, they are. It's like I've used them in the past.
Yeah,
I've
man.
used
And if you need an insulator pole, you call T Squeege. Get a hold of T
I've got
Squeege, and I'll
some
sell you
of
one.
those. I've got
I'll sell you
some
one.
new insulator
Did
ones.
you buy it from me?
Yeah, they're not from you.
You,
no.
I'm gonna have to buy some
You
from you, TJ.
jerk.
You're gonna have to direct me.
They're the ones from old Racenstein, I believe.
Ah, see, you got
Okay,
it.
yeah, you don't say that
Yeah,
name
those
on
are-
here.
You don't say that on here. You don't say
Are
that.
they pink?
Yeah.
Are they
Hey!
Fletch?
You don't say
I
that.
gotta stop and start over.
Hey, you don't say that.
Up in the street.
Yeah. The zero light
Yeah.
brush
Take
is
it
working
back
pretty
now.
good. I
But
can't
they-
wait to see.
They are
Like
super efficient.
I've seen some behind the scenes stuff. I know what's coming. I already know the upgrades and the changes that are already happening to the brush that are in the works. The new versions of the brush, like there's
The
there's
inside scoop.
yeah, I know everything, dude. There's gonna be a
God,
radio
hell
on the
yeah.
next one with 12-inch subwoofers. It's gonna be dope, bro. It's gonna vibrate the dirt off the glass.
You have to put it in an
Don't forget
04
the
Civic
LED.
though.
Yeah, you gotta put it
No,
in an
it's
04
been
Civic.
weird.
You have to have an
learning
89
curve.
Escort GT to use this
I've
brush.
got so many different systems. All these different water-fed systems. Like I've got like the triple crown. I've got the
Wait a minute.
zero.
Listen,
Got like the hydro.
Fletcher,
hydro
Fletcher,
whatever
we have a
too.
question for you, dude. You gotta stop
Oh.
rambling, Mark Tanner Jr.
It's not-
Mike wants to know what is the weight limit for high rise.
really, you don't want to be more than 250.
Oh well,
Like,
that,
don't
I'm
you think so,
automatically
Mark?
out.
Mark,
Mark,
don't you
Yeah,
think-
I would
Mark's
say,
not gonna be able to do it, man.
Teetering.
No, I ain't no
teetering.
250. Are you kidding me?
I ain't
No.
weighed no damn
I-
300
I
pounds. I
would
weigh
say-
165.
I don't know. You got some nice titties, Mark.
I've seen guys
There are-
eat themselves out of the chair.
There are
man.
guys.
I don't know. I seen you sprawled out on the couch like a newborn baby. You look 250 to me.
I'll tell you what.
Hey, Mark, if you're not 250, you lay like a 250-pound man. That's for sure.
Oh,
I've never seen any
That might
anybody blow ass on someone else's pillow so freely as Mark did. Mark slept. Hey,
That was
Tim
a great
slept on a pillow that Mark farted on.
Sharing a room with
Oh,
Mark was
God. Why didn't you
sharing a room
switch
with Mark was
pillows?
the best, dude.
It
I would
was,
have switched pillows.
it was
Me and
so
Mark
bad.
Mark just was like no shirt on immediately.
Yeah, we were
So
all
comfortable that we just watched Trailer Park
Dude,
Boys.
listen. We were all. Every guy in that townhouse
do when
was
the lights went off?
astonished at how
What?
free
Tickle
and
Okay.
relaxed Mark was. Mark had no
Like
problem. He
sword.
had his balls
Yeah,
out,
sword.
gym shorts. He had his legs up on the back of the couch, didn't he, guys? I mean, it was just, it was uncanny.
He wasn't sitting on a pillow. He was doing
Like,
a
yeah, he
pose.
was just like laid out, dude. Like,
Patty.
Patty!
Just grabbed him by the ankle
Patty!
and spread him up.
Patty.
I'm just glad he was
lure you
comfortable.
in.
That
He was
I had
laughing
so
the
much
whole
fun.
time.
I'm upset that I didn't get a lot of that on camera, but we had so much fun. I just didn't. It was the first time we were all together as a unit. You know what I mean? And I didn't want to. I didn't want the. I know because there was a lot of people like, man, why is there no footage from the huge? And I was just like, that was the first time we were all together, and I just wanted to enjoy each other and like no restrictions. I wanted Jacob and Mark to be as racist as they are, but in person. You know what I mean? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding.
That was the
Racism?
highlight I had for like 3 or 4 months. Was good to see you guys. The rest was just trying to recover and do routine. So,
Man,
meant a
I
lot to
appreciate you saying
see
that
y'all.
because
Yeah.
I enjoyed our conversation, man. I gotta
Hey,
be
dude,
honest
it-
with
it's
you.
No. He enjoys your
stuck me a lot.
conversation.
Yeah,
even
but
though I
he-
was sitting there the
Even
whole
though,
time.
what's crazy about all this is that you're like, Tim, I've never met you. Tim was literally sitting there with us on the
Are you-
bench.
Tim, it was you sitting outside with me smoking
Yes!
cigarette after cigarette for a while. telling
Yes,
me to
Tim
wash
is
my
the one that
ass
came and got
and
me.
Okay.
Tim
That's
is
what
the
I
one that
thought.
came
What
and
does
got
that
me to
do?
tell you that I was like, hey man, Fletcher's out there looking for you.
I
Tim
was
came
on
and got me
so-
for you.
Dude, you got
Come on,
to
bro.
mind. I had just had a rod put in my leg and a bunch of pins. The amount of medicine they
Mark
had
said it
me
was in
on.
your butt,
and then
but
Mike
that's weird
got
that
me
you
a
say it's your
beer on
leg.
top of that, and that was the first beer I'd had.
But we
over
talked for like
month.
a half hour before I even got TJ.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Mark
true.
said-
I went.
Mark said
Yeah,
the rod was
we
put in your
did.
butt, not your femur. Is that true or false?
It was dark. What'd you say?
That was our
Well,
perfect
it was
response. It was dark. I said,
Yeah,
Mark
it was
said,
dark.
Mark said that you got the rod inserted in your butt, not your femur. Is that true? And then you said, I don't know. It was dark.
Well, they put it in at the side. They kind of go in both, man.
Yeah. Dude, that's
Yeah.
so crazy, man. That is so
Oh, dude,
crazy.
It's terrible when it's
Does it get cold out? And then when it gets
That's-
cold,
that's
can
what-
you
that-
feel it more?
It's when it gets cold, it kind of like stings a little bit.
Wow.
But when the pressure drops, like
Really?
when the storm's rolling in,
Uh-huh.
like
the
when a big
barometric
storm's
barometric
coming in,
pressure.
it
Wow.
it just starts to ache.
Wow.
You know, it'll just like ache. So it's like I just know, oh shit, the pressure's dropping, it's starting to ache. You know, but it's getting
Jacob,
there,
you're a
man.
piece of shit. Leave him
It's
alone, dude. He's looking at the screen. Leave him alone, dude. He
And,
likes he likes the side view. Stop picking on him.
I can't help it. This is unfucking.
Jacob's in,
comfortable.
like, channel over here.
There's nowhere to go. Like, this is a wall. It's a wall. I can't even.
It's all right,
around.
Fletcher. We're just hey, listen. I don't know if you realize this or not, Fletcher, but we like to bust people's.
I will tell you one
chops.
thing.
That's what
you've
we
been
like
able
to
to look
do.
at this nice jawline.
Yeah, I mean you're handsome. I said you're handsome. What more do you fucking
You
want out of
know,
me? A
it's
kiss? Like just relax, dude.
It would be nice.
He said he wants some Sugan.
Yeah, I would expect that. I'll tell you what, Jake.
Some- yeah.
Yeah. Seth, that
We'll get it dark.
the drum set deal that you sent me, the dude with the cymbals.
Oh, that and the hot sauce was my
Yeah.
favorite thing. This is why I can't be friends with people on TikTok because I only send them
Dude, it's
horrible
so
videos. all the
bad.
If you're
It's
friends
so
with me on
bad.
TikTok, you realize what
It's
a piece of
bad.
crap I
Seth
am.
will completely ruin your algorithm, dude. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
really bad, dude.
4 a.m. just being like, well, I'm awake. I might as well send this
Let
to
me send
TJ.
this to
My
TJ.
algorithm is mostly window cleaners. I don't watch too much TikTok. Like when I'm on there, it's editing and shit like that, you know. But the only time I actually watch is mostly fucking window cleaners or them really hot chicks that somehow are just fucking dancing. You get sucked in, so now that's your next 4
I
years.
don't. Dude, my stuff
much
is
your
window.
algorithm.
Yeah, my stuff
Yeah.
is window cleaners and Cletus McFarland and shit like. I really like, dude. Cletus is hilarious, man. I love them dudes, man. It's the best thing.
I do too.
Mine's got
You-
a lot of Trump on there. There's a lot of Trump stuff.
Yeah,
I
I get sucked into that.
a lot of that.
But
I have
every
to-
time
I
I
have to go
comment, they
no.
delete it. Every one of my comments gets flagged. That's why my channel, like, you'll see if I stop, like, right now, what I'll do is I'll make a concerted effort to not comment on any political posts for a month, and then watch my numbers right now from now on TikTok to compared to my April numbers. They'll be double or almost triple. Every time I get sucked into this political stuff, I get shadow banned.
You
They
gotta-
shadow
you gotta
ban
have a
me every
ghost.
time, dude.
You have to have
never
a ghost
comment,
account.
I just
to troll.
watch.
Ugh.
I'll
I can't-
repost some
I
stuff.
can't help but comment, dude.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I
you
don't try
guys-
to get into it with people on the internet. It's just I don't disagree with them, but for me, I will say one thing though. That's one thing I've thoroughly enjoyed is like every day turning on the TV, or if I'm super busy, like honestly turning on late at night, like. What did I miss from our president today? What's he doing? Because
Yeah.
that dude televises everything.
You know what really
It's
bothered
so
me? The
insane.
last thing that they did. Like, I get that you don't like him and everything, but you're like the not like standing up or clapping or acknowledging the kid with brain
Oh,
cancer
God.
is really gross, dude.
Well, the thing for me, dude, it just reminds me when you see, and it's like I hate to say like Democrats, Republicans, when you see these people, regardless of the side,
Yeah.
you know, whether they don't like the other side,
Yeah.
when you see them really over there with bingo cards or little signs that say liar, it's like, dude, what are you in middle school? Like,
Right.
you're supposed to be one of our politicians running our government, taking care of things, being accountable, and it's like you're out here having a little arts and crafts meeting
They're
with your other
upset that they
members.
lost.
Yeah.
They never do
Hold up
anything.
signs. Like,
They're
this is
upset that they
political.
lost. They can't take the L,
It's all
And-
performative.
and it's super performative.
Exactly.
And on top of that,
My what?
the reason why they're freaking out the way that they're freaking out is that the gravy train is about to be derailed. That's the
Right.
problem, and people are
Yep.
going to be exposed for the absolute waste of hard-earned Americans' dollars. Canada's not going to sell American whiskey no more. Well, then they're screwed, because I don't know if you've had Canadian whiskey before, but it sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
Good
not
luck
good.
without any Kentucky bourbon, you shitheads. You know what I mean?
I think,
good luck.
I think after this, term limits need to happen, and if you can collect
I agree.
Social Security, you shouldn't be allowed to. You
I
shouldn't be in.
completely and totally
Working
agree.
people should be the
President,
people that are in.
Canadians.
I completely agree.
That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you are right, Seth. And you know the best line of the whole address that he did was, it turns out there was no legislation or no new laws that were needed. All you needed to do to protect the border was a new president.
Right,
Enforce the
Mic
current
drop.
laws.
He should have
right,
just stopped
right.
it right there and walked away.
right. Done.
Imagine if we had gotten 60-year-old Trump, how much fun that would
Oh,
have been.
dude.
That would have been the
Dude.
best. The best. The
Man,
best.
he's.
Hey
I'll
Tim
tell
and
you one
TJ,
thing,
what's your
though.
thoughts on Vivek Ramsey for your governor? I mean, unless somebody like way more
Vivek?
cooler than him,
We're taking his ass.
yeah. Unless
Run
it's
for
someone cooler than Vivek, it's gonna be Vivek.
Hey, Ohio is conservative,
like
but we're
that.
Rhino, dude.
I wouldn't
all our
necessarily say
politicians
that we're
are right on
conservative. We're not conservative. We're
Yeah.
common sense.
that.
That's the thing. It's common sense.
Yeah, we're middle of the road.
Like, I have no
Everywhere in the
problem
state.
with women getting
sure.
abortions or people buying and smoking weed or any gay people
fucking
getting
Ohio.
married. I have no problems with any of that shit. I'm not down for my 10-year-old having some trainee fucking read him shit. You know what I mean? I'm
Right.
just not down
Yeah,
for no
I don't
bullshit.
need all that shit.
No bullshit.
No.
Dude, don't need to sexualize our children. We don't need to be sending our fucking jobs and our money over fucking seas. It's simple shit. I live in a highly industrialized area. Factories, union jobs, auto workers have been completely fucking decimated by union retards like my Aunt Tammy fucking voting for Democrats for fucking decades and watching our cities and our factories close down left and right. And then you want to get on the internet and tell me I'm a bad guy for voting for the fucking guy that's putting us first. Eat my entire booty hole. Raw in July after I've worked 12 hours in the sun.
So, coming from my father was in the electrical union.
Mm-hmm.
He pretty much voted who he was told to vote for.
Right.
That's
Right.
Right. I come from a UAW family. I know how it works. My Aunt Tammy and I have had a contentious period since this whole Trump thing. She didn't talk to me for almost 2 months because I told her Trump was going to win. I was like, he's going to win, and he's going to win convincingly, and there's going to be no, like, well, maybe he won, maybe he didn't, he cheated. Yeah. Popular vote. The American people spoke. We are fucking tired of this shit. Like, if you want to be... If you're a guy and you want to be a girl, that's cool. But if I screw up and call you dude or something, I'm not doing it on purpose. I didn't do it on purpose. I didn't do it on purpose. Dude. But that doesn't mean that you should be able to go and play college basketball as a 40-year-old man with tits and a dick. It's not right. It's not.
Dude, that swimmer who was like 480 or something.
And then, it's ridiculous.
Right. Now
these women, it's just so crazy to me.
It's not even a woman. The dude was wearing a cup.
Yeah, dude, it's,
you know what I'm saying?
yes, it's like, so crazy to me that the left, the party of equality,
like 2 feet taller.
Yeah, well, the party of equality is all about men are. It's okay for men to be women and like dominate women's sports and women's avenues, and they're also now they're cool with proxy wars in fucking Russia. Like, what has happened?
This country needs
won't agree with this, but I think it's a spiritual war, dude.
We need a purge.
It's a spiritual war going on.
I call them Bush liberals, man, because they're just like the Bushes.
It's insanity. It doesn't make sense, man.
It's like every conservative effort that the Bushes have.
Right. All that fighting, all those years for women's rights, and for them to be flushed down the toilet and Caitlyn Jenner made Women of the fucking Year blows my fucking wig back, bro.
Right.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Well, you remember in the 80s.
They were all dressed in pink to support women's rights, yet none of them voted against keeping the men out of women's sports.
Right.
Why even be a woman in sports if you got to compete against dudes?
It's insanity. It's absolute insanity. And it just goes to show that men are better than women. Even we're better than.
They're not dudes because they identify as women.
Yeah. You know,
sorry, you're right.
That kills me is when you see these commercials where it's like Victoria's Secret doing the plus size, or you see the Hanes doing the pregnant man, you know, with his whatever. I don't even know what you call her. You know what I mean? How you relate in the public, it's just like, dude, and it's like that's the type of shit, dude, where I swear it's like a lot of people call you religious, like a religious nut, but I swear it's a holy war going on right now, dude, between right and wrong and good and evil. And a lot of that shit is fucking evil, dude.
Yeah,
you know, whether you want to be religious about it or not, it's just...
Well, we grew up just fine with the Sears catalog, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we grew up fine with all that, dude. We didn't need Mia Khalifa showing her asshole on TikTok, you know what I mean? We didn't need that. You know what I'm saying?
I can't imagine if porn was as accessible as it is. I mean, we had to work for our porn, dude.
Yeah, dude. Like Theo Vaughn, we had to have that kid on the bus draw us pictures of vaginas for $8.
You had to put on a channel that you didn't pay for that was backwards and full of snow, and every now and again you get a
glimpse of a booty.
Oh, yeah.
I remember one time I decided to print off porno pictures on the home computer, and my mom came home. The fucking printer.
I did that too.
Dude, I got caught
some damn good pictures.
VHS out of a dumpster. You know, I was dumpster diving, and someone had thrown away their old porn, and it wasn't the tapes. It was the covers that the tapes come in. You know what I mean? With all the graphics on them. And I got caught with those, you know. But yeah, like you said, we used to have to work for it, dude. Getting the magazines, like the dirty hustler magazines
Yeah.
where you'd hardly see
Isn't
shit.
it weird? I always found it weird how many porno magazines used to be in the woods. It's just like
Oh, God.
random. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, all
where did this
stuck
come
together
from?
and shit.
Yeah, where did this come from?
I remember in 4th grade, I was riding on the bus, and this kid had like a perverted dad, so he always had magazines, and
Yeah.
the kid made me mad, so I threw it at the bus driver, like hit her in the head.
Ah, we lost Seth.
Oh,
What a loser,
right at
dude.
the good part. Right at the good part. The suspense is killing me.
Well,
shit.
He'll come back.
he'll come back.
Damn it.
Well, yeah, it's what,
All right,
what
go
it-
ahead,
yeah, and
Seth.
you
Go
threw
ahead.
and you were like, I threw it at her, and then she put it
Yeah,
in.
we threw it at her, and she picked it up and like slammed on the brakes, brought us all back to school. Our parents had to they wouldn't let us off the bus, and I'm just sitting there. And I'm like, there's no way I'm taking the rap for
What?
this. I
Right.
sat there, everyone else get in trouble. I was like, nope. I didn't say a word. My favorite.
I was not
When
a
I was
deviant
first-
like
and
that.
I'm
I don't
older
think.
than all y'all. You know, you really looked. You'd go to the bookstore and look for those National Geographic to see them big old ski slope titties hanging down.
Oh,
They just got a phone in those, and you're like, she's ugly as fuck. There's a titty right there.
yeah.
I mean, I like the. I don't like them ones that are all sticking up in the air and they look like. I like them to be like. I want you to step on that titty when you get out the shower. You know what I mean?
I like
Like,
them to come up in the stockings.
Oh my god.
I want you to
no.
step on them hoes. You know what I mean? Yeah, I want them to look. I want them to look like they've been used. You know? Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, a little uttery.
yeah. I want them to look used,
Yeah,
baby.
talks about
Yeah.
the guy who calls him the drawings. That one made me lose. Really, you pay 8.
You pay 8. You pay 8.
My favorite is that when he says he's going home to punch.
Right? Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
He's going
That
home to
laughs.
punch.
Yeah.
That's me, baby. That's what I do. I punch. Yeah. This is punching fuel. So,
Oh,
with all that said, Fletcher, thanks for coming on. We've blazed through 2 hours of this podcast.
Yeah, it went fast.
Yeah,
If you guys
probably
aren't,
like
if you guys
the
aren't,
face the
yeah,
whole
if you
time.
guys aren't following him on TikTok, is your only place, right? TikTok is where you do all your stuff. And what is it? Say it for everybody.
Wagga wagga.
There
I'll
you
type
go. Yeah,
Yeah.
type it in the chat
Wagga
there. Go
wagga.
follow him on TikTok. He's got great content. If she ain't 280, she ain't a lady. Mark, and I guess we might as well announce right here. Mark, who's our guest for next week?
Yeah,
Mark.
let me go on my phone here. Notes. Okay.
Let me go look,
let's see.
because
While
I don't
Mark
wanna-
is looking that up, I just want to reiterate: if you're looking for any Zero products, reach out to the Squeegee, and I'll get you some poles, some hose, some brushes, some nuts and bolts, some insulating poles, so you stay safe, because that's the main thing. Staying safe, because that's the right thing to do. Just hit me up. All I sell is Zero products. I don't sell no squeegees or nothing. You know, maybe one of these days I'll be that cool, but right now, just water-fed stuff from Zero. Hit me up. Go ahead, Mark. Who is it?
You know what? Oh, okay. So, March 12th, next Wednesday, we have Weston Knight, who
Ooh,
has a lot of experience. He's never really seen the podcast. He's going to watch a few episodes.
nice.
Got a lot of good stories to share. So this
We
this
probably
should be
just ruined it. So
Yeah.
that's cool. That's cool.
yeah.
You, need
Yeah.
to get, you should get Danny Abundes on sometime.
Yeah.
She's that female one out in California.
Ah.
But when I've gone out some of these
Nice.
training classes with Michael, she also comes and trains. Like she's
Cool.
Is
very
she the one in that picture of the?
she's on the magazine too. She was just on a cover.
Don't forget the secret show. You got to pay $2. Become a channel member. Watch the
I
secret show.
got a question about the secret show.
Yeah.
You know, Tim made the comment about it was like just talking and riding in the car. How many times did you get up to go take a piss?
Hey, I did actually have to get up and take a
Actually, Jacob, there was one pee break.
piss. There was one-
Very astute observation, sir. There was one pee break.
Well, because remember, how many
Yeah.
times did you have to stop?
About
Just
7 times we had to stop. Once an hour we had to stop for Tim to
Shot
pee.
bladder.
Listen, I am getting old, guys.
He's getting old. Leave Tim
I
alone.
don't even have to drink water anymore.
Tim was a wonderful car guest, I have to say. He didn't leave his sunglasses in there. He didn't have bags of chips stuffed under the
He
fucking
didn't
seats.
spill dip all over
Didn't
the
spill
place.
dip spit all over the front of the car that I had to clean up later. Assholes. But thank you, Fletcher, for coming on. Thank you,
Yeah, bud.
everyone,
We
for
appreciate
watching.
you.
We'll see you again
Yeah, I
next
appreciate
week.
you guys. Don't let
Um,
TJ bail on on the convention this year. Come on, man, come for
No,
me.
he's going. We're going.
Come for me.
You know he's going. Apparently,
Come
Dad
on.
said I had to go, so I
Dad
have to
told you
go.
you have to
Dad
go.
said I have to go.
I'm excited for this year, man.
So me and Tim will be there because Dad said I had to go.
That's right. You're
We're
going.
gonna be-
I appreciate you guys having
I
me. man.
appreciate the shit out of you, Fletcher.
Anytime
You're
want
a-
to come back,
you're a hell of a
hang out,
guy.
you're always welcome.
Yep, you're a
Well,
hell of
man,
a guy and a great
appreciate
father.
everything y'all
Yeah,
done.
man.
You know, like even from Tim, I'm so sorry. I just feel so bad that it was
It's
you.
okay.
It's too late.
We
It's
had a
too
heart
late,
to
dude.
heart
All right,
there.
dude,
We
it
had
gave
a
me
heart
something to
heart.
fuck with you about.
It's too late. It's too late, Fletcher.
But
It's
I
too late.
definitely-
Fletcher, it's too late, dude. It's too late. You already
Well,
screwed
I
up.
appreciate you the most.
Well, listen,
Appreciate
I
you
appreciate
both.
the shit out of you, man. You,
Heart.
like I was saying, you're a hell of a window cleaner. You're a great dude, and most of all, you're an awesome father. And I appreciate the
Hey,
shit
man,
out of you, dude.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that,
Yep,
man.
you're an
That's
awesome dude, man. So keep up
I
the
wouldn't
good
be
fight.
here today with y'all if it
Yep.
wasn't for that little boy. He
Yep.
saved the life.
Yeah,
But
you
y'all have
guys
a good
are.
one.
We are super grateful to have you on, and we're looking forward to having you back again. And we'll see you guys next week with the next feller that likes to hang from a building like a goofball. So we'll see you then.
Yeah.
Hell
Deuces.
yeah. Have a good one.
Thank you.